Okay, I am typing the video. Okay, I'm typing. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, to the people of India who believe in democracy and capitalism, we are living in one of the toughest dark phases in the dark part of the world. India. Why? India is very good, but the power of India to whom the people have given from the past 80 years were not that much good. Few of the good people, leaders came and gone, but the same thing remained again and again. Inefficiency, no transparency and no accountability, nothing except fake promises, but no creative action, no nor vision, no creative thinking to use the human power, okay, to do the progress development of India in a quick, rapid fire way, tracking the progress really fast through the time, accuracy and precision as the main standards. Here, okay, my name is again given, but okay, the six core rights: equality, freedom, anti-exploitation, religion, culture, education, constitutional remedies, equality, freedom, anti-exploitation. Okay, this one. Okay, all these things. So, okay, here I am discussing the main philosophy of this thing. What is the main philosophy of this? Okay, here, okay, we don't know where we are, but we are still here. We don't know where we are, but we are still here. In such a in such a period of a time where the things are changing rapidly in the geopolitics and we are still lagging behind. And and who is going to survive and thrive? Okay, you need to understand. Okay, the equality, freedom, anti-exploitation, religion, culture, education, and constitutional remedies. Okay, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, culture and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, right to freedom. Okay, right to freedom. Okay, right to freedom. During the Britishers' rule of India, did we not have freedom? Yes, we had freedom. We can do anything. Okay, we can do anything. We can go. We can do anything. We can go and do anything, man. We can go and do anything. Okay, but okay, our action should not be against the Britishers government. That is what they expected. The same thing which exists right now is like, okay, whatever we can do, we can go, we can talk, we can walk, we can go in metro, we can go in trains, we can go in anywhere, but we cannot talk against the Indian government. Otherwise, we are going to be blamed, or else we are going to be killed. Okay, and you know what? Every single government is just like that. What changed? What changed? The Britishers army gone, the Britishers administration gone. That is replaced with the Indian administration and Indian army, and that is what we call as independence on 15th August 1947. This is what changed, right? If this is a thing which is going to be changed, if this is a thing which is going to be changed, and because of this we believe that there is a freedom, when we are going to be controlled by our own governments, for which we pay the taxes through our salaries, for which we pay the taxes through our goods and commodities, and we pay the interest to the banks, and we are doing every single thing we can in order to valuate the currency. But $1 is setting right now 90 rupees, 90.94 as of February 21, 2026, on which this video is made. And you know what? Why this is happening? Corruption. Okay, forget about corruption. Why corruption is there? Because there is no transparency and no accountability. And we don't know where the money is flowing, where the networks are, where the money networks, where the money patterns and where the money pipelines are going and distributing according to the collection of the taxes. And the collection of the taxes is not giving us the right information about the, the employment opportunities created and infrastructure created, and with the efficiency and accuracy, and the precision. Efficiency is also important, accuracy is also important, and at the same point of time, precision is also required. So that's the reason. If you look at the quality of the roads, infrastructure, buildings right now, especially except the NH highway roads plus the bridges, every single thing is in a disarray or a disthing. And every single day, every single way we are going, whenever one vehicle goes out, a lot of dust is going to come. And why? Because there is no proper infrastructure and no proper maintenance of the wastages things. Okay, so if I go on listing all the problems, okay, it's going to take a lot of time. Now, why the dictatorship? Because you have seen both the parties. You have seen Congress for 60 years, and you have seen BJP for almost 16 to 8, 17 years. What changed? Nothing changed, except the things that there was some infrastructure development and healthcare, education, all these things, education for all. But these are the basic commodity rights, and if you think that the basic commodity rights are the achievements and some great some great good things by Congress party, like agriculture revolution, IT sector bringing, okay, so all these things are there. And if you consider these things are the main achievements and we have to give the opportunities to them rather than convincing or okay, going to be okay, you know what, easing the things, okay. So this is the first part, okay. I have not written every single thing because I cannot write every single thing because I can't type too much. So that's the reason I am going for a video right now, okay. And I have told a lot of videos. I have gone through a lot of videos. Okay, every single video it will take almost 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours to understand this thing. The first thing which Congress did was, okay, the first biggest wrong thing which Congress did was population explosion. What is population explosion? The population explosion is what is the biggest population explosion and the population increasing of the population density. Okay, not having effective family planning, for which a strict conditions on the population. Okay, you go. Remember this thing, wherever you go, you okay, especially okay inside the Delhi, inside the other places of India, where you go, okay, you will have a lot of traffic, lot of things. Okay, why? Okay, you can see number of people there. Number of people means number of people born, which means population is going to be born out of no control. Okay, if there is no control for the population, what will happen? Every single one is going to have the you know what? Let me talk it. Okay, problems because of high population and high population density inside see here high population density, okay, 17.5% of the global population, okay, cause severe economic, widespread poverty, high employment, intense competition for resources, infrastructure and urban overcrowding, employment poverty, environmental degradation, resource scarcity, health and social issues, education stream, okay, rapid often unplanned, see every single thing, okay. Who is responsible for all these things? Infrastructure and urban overcrowding, employment and poverty, environmental degradation, resource scarcity, health and social issues, education strain, okay, all these things are able for this. Yes, someone is responsible, okay. Who is responsible? Congress. 60 years, what they have done? Now things, okay, now they have done some great achievements through the achievements in the Congress period, okay, achievements in the Congress, okay, achievements done by INC in India over 60 years. Say Congress about this much. Okay, during this often cited as 60 years of post independence, Indian National Congress is establishing the foundation against it. Structure and economical development, yes, okay, Navratna public sector, PSUs, infrastructure development, banking, the economic growth, nationalization of the banks by Indira Gandhi, which expanded banking services to rural areas, okay, development of mega projects like Bhakra Nangal Dam, construction of extensive national highways, over bridges and major railway projects, okay, PSUs, okay, now scientific space, okay, big defense milestones, okay, establishment of ISRO, okay, development of defense, okay, nuclear program, okay, military victory, yeah, social and okay, see everything, okay, see first, so, social and economic educational forms, corruption. ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन, टेक्नोलॉजी रेवोल्यूशन, IT सेक्टर को लेके है, and this one, okay, Green Revolution, and Telecom Expression, and okay, Democratic Foundation. And okay, if these are okay, democratic institution building, industrialization, education and science, space and defense, green and white revolution, okay, milk producer to the white revolution, bank nationalization, defense success, telecom anti-IT revolution, okay, economic liberalization. मतलब जो important, मतलब जो चीज़ education, ठीक है, जो चीज़ important है नहीं, okay, what is that? Industrialization, education, science, defense, space and defense. Every single thing is important for the nation because it has got and they did the okay, they did the basic things right. They did the basic things right. I'm not saying they did the basic, okay. Okay, because if there was a BJP would have done the same thing. If Congress was there, Congress would have done the same thing. But if you look at the same things, okay, I'm not having a great confidence on BJP. I'm having a confidence on the Congress. Why? Because they did the same thing. Because their success story tells 60 years they done the basic things really right, good. Democratic institutional building, industrialization, education and science, space and defense, okay, green and white revolution, okay, green revolution, agriculture green revolution, bank nationalization, defense success, telecom IT revolution, economic liberalization, RTI, right to information act, okay, Maganrega, okay, guaranteed wage employment for rural households, RT, right to education. So this is the basic thing which they have done. But the problem with the Congress was the achievements, okay, the degradation of the, okay, but okay, okay, you know what, okay, inefficiency, account, okay, inefficiency, disadvantages of INC rule in India over 60 years. Economic stagnation, license quota permit Raj, slow economic growth. Okay, for four decades. Okay, for 4 decades, 1950 to 19, India experienced an average growth of rate around 3.5, often derived as the Hindu rate of growth, which failed to significantly reduce the poverty. License Raj. Okay, stringent government regulations required businesses to obtain licenses for production, expansion, and importing, which led to massive bureaucratic delays, corruption, and a lack of competition. Public sector of inefficiency. Okay, neglect of manufacturing. Okay, administrative and constitutional weakness. The system became known for high-profile scandals like Bofors scandal, 2G Spectrum scandal, Colgate, and you know what? Okay, and Commonwealth Games scam, suggesting deep-seated corruption. Okay, outdated, inefficient laws and administrative bottlenecks hampered rather than helped economic development. Okay, in governance, the failure of public service delivery. Okay, political and government's failures. Okay, centralization of power around the Nehru Gandhi Tripartite. Yes, see, centralization of power, emergency, minority appeasement, failure in conflict resolution. See, emergency, the imposition of emergency is seen as the darkest phase of Indian democracy. Okay, characterized by suspension, press censorship, and forced sterilizations. Okay, slow human development. Okay, large production, foreign policy, and national security. Okay, terrorism. See, this one is also there. Okay, which shows us the Congress is not the doodh ka dula. Congress is not called as a milk. Okay, every single thing is milk. Congress is not milk, and at the same point of time, BJP also. BJP is also not milk. Okay, remember this thing. Congress is okay. Milk with the medium amount of poison. Okay, medium amount of white poison, and BJP plus RSS is the milk with the okay, milk with the amount of white poison, okay, maximum amount of poison. Okay, this maximum amount of poison and medium amount of poison is not required. What BJP did in the last 10 years, you know that. Okay, because you have voted for it. And you got what? Schemes. Schemes, yojana, schemes, yojana, schemes, yojana. And these schemes and yojana are what? Okay, does it reduce the poverty? And if it reduces the poverty, how much it is going to reduce the poverty? So these things are very much questionable, and you need to understand. I'm not understanding one thing, that the pade likhe log, okay, the educated people of India, why they are electing the unpad people of India. Okay, the educated people of India, they are electing the unpad people of India. That is, they are electing the, yes, exactly. I don't know. And they know what is going to happen for fires. They can predict. See, these Indian people are cinematic people. Indian people are cinematic people. They know what is going to happen after fires. But why they are okay? They can tell it in the cinema theaters. They can tell it exactly this is going to happen. If they are going to tell what is going to happen after 3 hours, then why the hell they can't tell the exact reality of India after fires, what is going to happen, okay, after delivering the vote? And when they cast a vote, they are going to say yes, exactly, okay, power of democracy. But why they can't tell us that these people cannot tell the things, okay, like, okay, why they are not able to tell us, okay, what is going to happen after fires? They can predict it, but still they are adjusted with it. I don't know why. And you know what? I don't like this inefficiency of the government, corruption of the government on one side, and lack of employment opportunities for the youth of the India. Okay, and you know what? The most toughest thing, the most vulgar thing, what happened inside India is what? Population explosion. Okay, because of the population explosion, infrastructure and urban overcrowding, often unplanned urbanization leads to traffic congestion, inadequate housing, and severe strain on public transportation and sanitation systems. अभी मैं आ रहा था, okay, when I was coming to the when I was coming from I was coming from I was coming from Gokarna to Vijaypura. Okay, during some 350 kilometer journey over some 7 kilometers, okay, through the cars. Okay, I saw a village in which their proper sanitation was not there. Okay, and you know what, I saw a man doing the latrine, okay, in front of a village. Okay, and it is permitted because they don't have sanitation there. And why these things exist? Because there are many villages inside India. And you know what? The problems faced by villages inside India are heavy. And heavy means heavy, because they don't have those great things. So you know what? I'm not blaming Congress or I'm not blaming BJP. I'm blaming both. Because you are just blaming one person, and you are just blaming one person, and you are taking the side of another person. And you know what? Okay, and you are blaming another person. You are blaming Congress and you are taking the side of BJP, or else you are blaming BJP or taking the side of Congress. But both of these guys, they have ruled over, and some of the great achievements they have done. And you know what? I'm not saying achievements are not there, especially the IT sector and the agriculture revolution. They have done it, okay, and they should do it, because that is what we elect them for, and they have done it. But neither of them they have reduced the employment. Okay, neither of them they have reduced the poverty. What is poverty? You know what? The poverty is not just by giving them employment. How much employment? Whether they are able to buy the goods and services, and they are going to lead their life happily. Whether they are going to be, they are going to be working with a smile on their faces, and they are going to sleep with a smile on their faces, that tomorrow, if anything happens to them, okay, the future generations of their families are going to be survive. Okay, they are going to be thriving, prospering, flourishing, rather than surviving each and every single day because of this capitalism shit. So all these things are being done, okay, and the time has come for India to achieve the dictatorship, because both of the governments, we have given them time and we cannot give them more time. And if you think that giving them more time will give you enough of the opportunities, okay, enough of the opportunities rather than creation of this thing for every single thing, remember this thing, for every single thing, democracy is such a place For every single thing you have to revolt, for every single thing you have to fight, for every single thing you have to go for protest, for every single thing you have to go for, you have to wait, you have to wait, you have to wait. For every single thing you have to do the complaint. For every single thing you need to just raise your voice, rather than you just need to say something to dictator and dictator needs it does it done. No, okay, it's not there. You don't want the dictatorship. You don't want to give the power to one man. Why you don't want to give the power to one man? You think that the constitution, okay, democracy will solve your problems. Remember, if democracy would have, okay, if democracy has solved your problems, definitely would have solved the problems by right now. It has given 80 years, but right now, see Saudi Arabia, see Kuwait, see Qatar, see, okay, every single person. Remember, I'm not saying, okay, these countries are perfect, but these countries have that great efficiency, great morality, great, you know what? People will go there and live there happily without having to pay the taxes, okay, without having to pay the interest, 0% interest rate. And some corporate taxes 9% is there. And they are going to live it happily. They are going to live happily. But here we are going to work for some 4 to 5 months for free, and some 6 to 7 months we are going to work for ourselves. And that's the reason why government is going to take the taxes on salaries and on the goods and commodities. That is what? Here, GST. And what is GST, you know? What is GST? Goods and services tax. People with a high wealth inequality, they are going to pay 18% GST, and person who is having nothing, that is a, you know what, the person who is having nothing, that is what, okay, on the construction worker, the electricians, the carpenters, they are going to also pay the 18% tax. A person like Ambani is also paying 18% tax on the goods and commodities. A person with the construction worker is also paying the 18% tax, and both of them, they are having wealth accumulation, okay, different. One is having very low in wealth, and one is having very high wealth, and that's the reason this system sucks. Capitalism sucks, and this democracy, where this corruption is going to be very much high, it is going to have a lot of devastation, man, lot of devastation. And this is the thing. This is the time you have to go for dictatorship. This is the time we have to go for dictatorship. And that's the reason you need to understand. That's the reason. And instead of society, we will build a community. We don't want the society which divides us, which dejects us, which oppresses us, which suppresses us, because it makes us fight. It makes us fight against each other. We want such a government which makes us a one community, one Indian community, where Hindus are not fighting against Muslims, and Muslims are not fighting against Hindus, and Hindus are not fighting against each other because of reservations, casteism, and everything. So that's the reason. So we need every single thing on our favor. And let us look at the achievements done by BJP, okay, BJP and RSS in India over its ruling period, after independence, during its power. Bharatiya Janasangh, the was founded in here. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh was founded in here, exactly. Major achievements post previous NDA, okay, under Prime Minister, national integration and constitutional reforms, okay, culture and religious landmarks, Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, infrastructure, okay, massive boost to connectivity, including the highway connection using for time limited expansion of metro network and Vande Bharat trains, digital India and economy, UPI ecosystem, 49% of the digital payments, financial inclusion and welfare. Yeah. Let us see. Okay, infrastructure transformation, massive boost to connectivity, digital India and economy, financial inclusion and welfare, global standing and security, legislative changes, Triple Talaq and Citizen Amendment Act. Okay, now, okay, with respect to the economy, I'm saying, global standing and security, foreign policy, G20 presidency, increased defense exports, and assertive military doctrines. See, this is useless. This is useless. Why? Okay, when what is the country which has non-violence as its policy, and it is going to have a defense. Remember this thing. It's just like, okay, I'm saying this thing. These people, they don't want, you know what? Okay, India. Okay, many people lost their lives during the Pulwama and Pahalgam. Okay, what happened? Nothing happened. Okay, some surgical strikes happened, and you know what? After then also they played the cricket matches against Pakistan, and okay, whatever these things are there, no shake hand policy. Okay, no look policy. It's useless. It's useless. So why I'm saying this? Okay, because once you get the clarity, get the clarity of how Indian government works, you need to say this thing is the most toughest thing to understand. I'm not blaming both of them. They had some, you know what? See, they have some achievements, but okay, remember this thing. Cultural and religious landmarks. We don't want this religious things to be done. Okay, we don't want it because we want the development things to be done. We don't want this religious things to be done because religion. Right now, India should go for, how much Indians are saying it, religion. They should go for India, development. And you know what? They have to go for unemployment. Okay, they have to go for employment, eradication of poverty. Okay, that's what they should chant. That should what they chant, rather than Jai Shri Ram, Jai Modi. Okay, we don't want them. Okay, we don't want this. Okay, you know what? Education and cultural promotion through Vidya Bharati RSS runs over 12,000. Nation building. So nation. Okay. Now, okay, if I look at this thing. Okay, now. Okay, see here. Okay, differentiating between them both. Okay, see here. Both are same. See. First read it here. Read it. Whatever. Okay, read. Okay, pause it and read it. Okay, I'm just going to scroll it. Yeah. See, remember, these achievements are often viewed positively by supporters for strengthening national identity and security, while critics often focus on concerns regarding the social harmony and secularism. Social harmony under BJP? Yes, exactly. This is the main problem. Social harmony and secularism. Even Google is also telling that, brother. Okay, Google knows everything. This thing, Bharatiya Janata Party. Key achievements. Roads. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Narendra Modi. Okay, BJP came one thing, I think, 1998, 6 Okay, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Okay, rapid extensions of Jam Trinity. Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir. Social taxation implemented the goods and services in 2017. Provided 2 million toilets under Swachh Bharat and 60 million free LPG collection through Ram Mandir. Yes, key contribution of RSS. Now this is the thing. Okay, just pause it. Okay, just read it here. Just pause it and read it. Okay, I don't have time. Okay, because I have to make this video very fast. Now you can see this game, what we are playing. Okay, this inefficiency and disadvantages. Okay, let us look at it. Okay, based on the analysis and criticism. Yeah. Demonetization and GST, man. That demonetization was just for wrong things. That is what, you know what? There is no way, brother. This BJP is doing something great called as demonetization. That demonetization was the greatest fiasco. It was one of the worst things to be ever done. Like corruption will be going, new notes will be issued. Okay, that thing was done for some hidden purposes. And after coming from power to 2014 to 2016, only within 2 years it has been done. Okay, now this GST implementation. What is GST? 18% GST on everything. You know what? A construction workers also pay 18% GST, whereas also Ambani also pays the same 18% GST, and Adani also pays the 18% GST. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Because first of all, your salaries are going to be taxed, and their salaries are not going to be. First of all, Ambani will not tax his salaries. How he is going to not tax his salaries? Because he knows something called as he will accept to the salary in the form of stocks. Because he is a stock guy. He is a stock guy. Ambani is a stock guy. You know what? Because he is a stock guy. Adani is also a stock guy, and they will accept the salaries in the form of stocks, and that's the reason that it becomes unrealized gain, right? Because we don't know when the stock is going to be high, when the stock is going to be low, and that's the reason it becomes an unrealized gain, right? And when it becomes an unrealized gain, right? Okay, you cannot tax those billionaires. And at the same point of time, okay, they are going to pay the same tax, they are going to pay the same amount of tax, which is going to be paid by the same, which is going to be paid by the same, which is going to be paid in the same relation with the construction worker, a mining worker, and you know what, agricultural farmer, or anyone inside India. And so that's the reason, okay, we can't say that this GST, it's very good. It's worst thing ever happened. From 7.5 VAT, so from 7.5 to 8% to approximately 10% extra, okay, yeah, 18% GST. That is worst thing which ever happened. And at the same point of time, now here, jobless growth and unemployment. Despite electoral promises, unemployment has remained a major challenge, with critics point to high job loss during the lockdown and decline in labor force capitalism. Crony capitalism. Allegations of favoritism of specific large corporate groups such as Adani have been raised, alongside accusations that government favors the high capital enterprises over MSMEs. MSMEs means this one. Okay, micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay, micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay, if they start favoring every single one, every single one big, then what about the poor? Debt and inflation. Rising public debt and high inflation rates have been highlighted as evidence of economic mismanagement. Suppression of dissent. Okay, critics allege that questions can lead into harassment, surveillance, and being labeled as anti-national. Yes, most worst thing ever done in the BJP. Okay, they are so much dominant, and you know what? Okay, and the intervention of the CIA and Mossad, and especially the Jewish influence over the BJP. Okay, I'm trying to question it. I'm trying to decode that thing. The Jewish people have the greatest monopoly over the entertainment sector, over the nudity sector. Nudity sector, yes, exactly. Over the nudity sector, over the vulgar culture, over the, you know what, okay, over the Hollywood, over the, okay, all the sectors they are having this influence. They have the influence over our banking, especially the Rothschilds. Okay, right now, okay, in previous 10 days, okay, we have had that Rothschild as the, okay, you know what, the economical advisor or NSC. Okay, now a sole economic advisor. Why foreign entity is going to advise over our NSC? You don't know about the Rothschilds. Those who know about the Rothschilds, they know. Okay, you know what? Okay, remember this thing. The Rothschilds are the blood child. Okay, that's the reason. They always want the blood. They always want the blood, pain, suffering, and they have been engaged in many wars. And we don't want whose history is associated with the wars, manipulation, monopoly, and you know what? Some hidden things. Their names are associated with their names are associated with the linking to the Epstein files. We don't want, and especially our own prime minister's name is associated with the Epstein files. So we don't want them. Okay, remember, a lot of circles are being going out. A lot of circles are being there. So that's the reason. We don't. Okay, and especially critics allege that questioning government policies can lead into harassment, surveillance, and being labeled as anti-national, and reduce the transparency. The use of opaque funding mechanisms such as PM CARES Fund, the weakening of right to information, RTI have been criticized. The weakening of right to information, RTI Act, and the PM CARES Fund. And what is PM CARES Fund? Weakening of check and balances. The autonomy of institutions like Election Commission, the Judiciary, and investigative agencies has been questioned. Okay, especially by the Old Chor Gaddi Chor mechanism by okay, the election, okay, the opposition party leader, okay, Shri Rahul Gandhi sir, ठीक है, against the Shri Modi sir. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't want this Shri and all. Just because of respect. Okay, let me call us Gandhi and let me call us Modi. Okay, I don't care about them. Okay, right now. Okay, now Gandhis and the Modis. Okay, we don't want these people. Okay, now. The earlier we wanted some Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. We don't know how Rahul Gandhi is going to rule over India. Okay, we don't know Rahul Gandhi how he's going to bring this change to our India. We don't know exactly, because remember we have heard some of the administrative changes. Okay, what he's famous at, what he's good at, what he's trying to bring. He is trying to bring the Jati Karta. Okay, the religion census. Why doing religion census? Especially, okay, where the India is divided among religions, caste, creeds, customs. Especially instead of dividing them, okay, instead of dividing them further, we have to unite them, okay, for the one good economical growth. But we are not doing it, and our opposition leader is going for what? He's holding the constitution like this, and he's saying like, okay, he's holding the constitution, and he's saying, okay, imagine this compass is a constitution book. Okay, this competition, okay, this is the constitution, and this constitution gives us right. This one, okay. See, he's telling a lot of things. And others are telling. You know what? The parliament is just like it's just like an auction market, where where I'm going to tell his weakness, he's going to tell my weakness. Okay, where I'm going to tell, I'm going to tell my achievements. I'm going to brag about my achievements. Okay, our ancestors administration, whatever it has been done. Okay, I'm going to brag about it, and they are going to brag about them. Okay, and both of them, they're just going to counter argument against each other, and they're just going to raise the voice against each other in order to suppress the voice of the other things. And that's the reason these people, they don't know how to handle Indian government. They don't know how to handle Indian economy. They don't know how to handle Indian people, especially. And that's the reason someone from somewhere, educated like me, because I have done Bachelor of Science inside, mathematics, Bachelor of Science with mathematics as major, with a distinction passed, and Master of Science in mathematics with the B class, second class, yes, exactly. And I know I have passed some banking exams also. The passed means first tier, so not second tier, not the second tier one, means the tier 2. So right now, with respect to both of them, we don't want this two big boys. We don't want this two big boys, INC and BJP. Both of them, we have seen it, especially. And both of them, they are prone to campaign funding. They are prone to corruption. They are vulnerable to corruption. They are having corruption inside their governments. 2G scams, Colgates. 2G scams. Now 2G scams. Now 2G scams. Now 2G Spectrum scams, Beaufort scandal, Colgate, Commonwealth Games scam under Suresh Kalmadi. You know what? Outdated and inefficient laws and administrative bottlenecks hamper. This is in INC rule. So all things are there. कोई भी दूध का दूल्हा नहीं है, INC भी दूध का दूल्हा नहीं है, और उसके साथ साथ बीजेपी तो सबसे वो दूध है ही नहीं, ठीक है, काला दूध है वो, ठीक है, हाँ. बस इतना ही है, दूध के अंदर किसने कम जहर भरा है और दूध के अंदर ज़्यादा जहर भरा है. कांग्रेस के अंदर दूध का जो जहर है नहीं हाई है, ठीक है, दूध के अंदर जो जहर है नहीं हाई है, और बीजेपी के अंदर जो जहर है नहीं वो भी पूरा का पूरा हाई, पूरा का पूरा अनलिमिटेड है. बस फ़र्क इतना है कि दोनों के दूध पियोगे, दोनों बीजेपी जो दूध देगा तुमको या फिर कांग्रेस जो दूध देगा तुमको, दोनों पियोगे, ठीक है, सत्यानाश होकर चले जाओगे. That's the reason you have to go for dictatorship. That's the reason you need to go for dictatorship, and I will take the power of dictator. If you give me the power, I don't know. इसीलिए तुम लोगों को आदत पड़ी है, ठीक है, क्या आदत पड़ी है तुम लोगों को? जो अनपढ़ है, पहले तुम अनपढ़ हो, ठीक है, पहले तुम अनपढ़ हो, और अगर अनपढ़ नहीं हो तो पढ़े लिखे हो, तो पढ़े लिखे लोग, first of all, you are uneducated, and if you are not uneducated, if you are educated, you are coming under the influence of views, choices, opinions laid by the newspapers, media, journalists, and then news channels, which are just a mass propaganda of this channel, mass propaganda of these parties, of these political parties, in order to showcase them how much they are great. That's what they are going to do. And every single political party, they own these newspapers, they own these news channels, and they own this media. And that's the reason they're representing this. They're representing their choices, opinions, and views, and that choices, opinions, views become your own choices, opinions, views, and you are not using your brain in order to cast a vote. And that's the reason even educated becomes uneducated, and uneducated is, first of all, he is uneducated. First of all, he is uneducated, and educated becomes uneducated. And that is what India is all about. And that's the reason they are electing some people, they are electing the majority and in order to bring some celebrity guy like Modi or some Gandhi. They are not seeing the structural leaders. They are not seeing the structural leaders according to the state governments. And they are saying Gandhis on one side, they are saying Modis on one side, they are saying Shahs on one, they are saying Shahs, Naddas on one side, and they are saying Karges and DK Shivkumars and this, this Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi is on one side. And that's the reason this rallies, this parliament, every single thing is useless. Why? They are wasting a lot of time. 5 years is very, very important for us. 5 years, you know how much days are there? 1824 days. This 1824 days of 365 years, 365 days, every single year is very, very important. And these people, they are using the time, they are wasting our time in press conference, they are wasting the time in every single, they are wasting the time in press conference, they are wasting the time in rallies, they are wasting the time in parliament, they are wasting the time in resorts, they are wasting the time in hotels, rather than India is a land of 32 lakh square kilometer from Jammu Kashmir to Kerala and Gulf of Kutch to Arunachal Pradesh. We need that particular thing to be solved ASAP. We need every single neta. We need every single neta not to waste the time in parliament. We don't want Rajya Sabha, we don't want Lok Sabha. These laws can be passed anywhere. We want them to travel from place to place, time to time, place to place, time to time. School to school, school to school, industry to industry, factory to factory. To the land, through the land of landslides, through the land of droughts, famines, earthquakes, floods. And we need them to act very reasonably, very rapidly, and we need rapid actions. We need rapid actions for the rapid cures. We need rapid actions and rapid cures. We don't want their vulgar time wasting. We don't want their vulgar time wasting process, and we don't want them to be keeping quiet. And that's the reason they are built for keeping quiet. They are built for parliament, they are built for rallies, they are built for hotels, they are built for resorts, they are built for ACs, they are built for cameras, they are built for all this shit. And that's the reason someone has to go from somewhere else, and he has to say, yes, enough is enough. Time has come up to practice the dictatorship. The time has come for someone to go after president, to go not to be, because president, to have the upper rule than the president, because where the dictatorship will hold the supreme authoritarian central total regain power in his hand, and he's going to develop his country in a very systematic, stable way. That is what we want, and that is what we want. इसीलिए एक बंदे के हाथ में तुम लोग दो, ठीक है? तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो पता है? गलती कर रहे हो क्या? कहाँ गलती कर रहे हो? You are trying to play the game. You are playing the game and then you are trying to fix it. You are playing the game and then you are fixing it. No. First fix the game and then play it. First fix the game and then play it, so that your future generations are secured for the next 100 years, for the next 200 years, for the next 300 years under my sons and under my daughters. What do you say? ठीक है, जहाँ पे मैं कैसे देश का जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है नहीं कैसे संभालना है, कैसे काम करना है, ठीक है? कोई भी टाइम, एक भी टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करना, ठीक है? ऑफिस आवर्स में, ठीक है? पार्लियामेंट में हो या फिर ठीक है रैली में हो, नहीं, भाषण देने के लिए हमको भाषण देने वाले लोग नहीं चाहिए. मैं भाषण दे सकता हूँ 4 घंटे, 3 घंटे, 2 घंटे तक, ठीक है? भाषण नहीं चाहिए हमको. 56 इंच का सीना नहीं चाहिए, 56 इंच का सीना नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है? मेरे पास 56 इंच का सीना नहीं है, मेरे पास 56 इंच का सीना नहीं है, ठीक है, मेरे पास लगभग 25 या 30 इंच का सीना होगा, लेकिन मेरे सीने के अंदर दिल है, बड़ा दिल है। इतना तो मैं पक्का बोल सकता हूँ। एंड आई एम हाउ मच 28 years right now, and if you give me the power of India for the next 30 to 35 years and under my rule, especially under my rule, जो पढ़ा लिखा हो, जो इकोनॉमिक्स जानता हो और उसके साथ साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन संभालता हो बहुत अच्छी तरीके से, बहुत परफेक्टली, ठीक है, आई विल शो इट ओके हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू ओके एडमिनिस्टर इन द नेक्स्ट ओके वट एवर द वीडियो आई एम गोइंग टू मेक इट ओके आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू हाउ मच आई एम गोइंग टू बी. So that's the reason. So you need to have, okay, especially remember this thing, I don't have any audacity, I don't have any, you know what, I don't have any, I don't have any moral ground to say that, okay, this constitution should be destroyed, this Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha should be destroyed. But seeing the inefficiency, seeing the bad infrastructure, where the Chinese infrastructure, where the American infrastructure, where the European countries' infrastructure is way ahead than us, where their thinking, where their creativity, where their market is being growing rapidly against our market, where their currency is being valuated in a high way, in a high extravaganza way than our. So all these things are there, which makes us to question our own lives, whether we are giving the Indian administration to a right hand, to the right set of people. And we can't believe the Gandhis, we can't believe the Modis, we can't believe the Adanis, and we can't believe the Ambanis, we can't believe the Murthis, we can't believe the Mittals, we cannot believe anyone. We have to believe a common man, and one common man has to rise from the shadows. One common man has to rise from the graves. One common man has to rise from the he has to say goodbye to the 9 to 5 jobs. I am not built for 9 to 5 jobs, and he has to say 9 to 5 jobs. तुमको एक बंदा पढ़ा लिखा चाहिए जो पॉलिटिशियन में घुसता हो, ठीक है, ऐसा बंदा जिसके पास बेहतरीन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की स्किल्स हो, है कि ठीक है. मैं भी डरता था रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने को. इवन आई हेट टेकिंग द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. बट what these corrupt bastards have done, especially, okay, I'm not saying everyone is corrupt, but most of them they are corrupt, but most of these corrupt bastards have done in order to जिस बंदे के पास कोई जिम्मेदारी है ही नहीं, जिस बंदे के पास मैं आलसी हूँ, मैं अगर दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा आलसी कमीना कोई है तो मैं ही हूँ, ठीक है. So this man, they have changed my perspective, seeing the vulgar infrastructure, vulgar roads, okay, and you know they are namard, najais, labaris roads, okay, except the NH highways and this, yes, everything. Where that's the reason, especially in the North India, Uttar Pradesh, and the land of villages, and you know what, the Bihar, where nothing is right, where they are saying everything is right. So Delhi, the population, Delhi, the climate. So all these things are there, and I'm not saying to revolt. Just say yes, we want one man to be the head of the government, to be the supreme head of the government, who holds more power than anyone else. The supreme power, the supreme totalitarian, and you know what? Supreme totalitarian dictatorship of India. Supreme authority, central authority of India. Yeah, exactly. To one man, the common man, because I belong to the bottom 90%. ठीक है, मेरा घर, मैं अमीर नहीं हूँ और ना ही हम लोग गरीब हैं, हम मिडिल क्लास है, ठीक है. मिडिल क्लास बंदा ही अगर देश को संभालेगा नहीं, मिडिल क्लास और गरीब लोगों के लिए, तब देश आगे बढ़ेगा. क्या बोलते हैं? You don't want this, okay, you don't want this Modis, you don't want, first of all they are rich, okay, through their, okay, राजनीति में क्या होता है, okay, first of all they are coming into a political party, and no one is going to give them political party ownership all at one point of time. They will work for some 20-30 years, and during this 15 to 20 to 30 years, the corruption is going to be there, and this greed for power of administration will be there in order to rake more and more funds, that is through corruption. So that thing will be there, and that's the reason they want to become CMs, they want to become PMs, and they want to have those, finance ministry, they want to have some, home ministry, they need to have some great amount of wine ministries, telecom ministry. All these things are there. Why? Because of the greed. And that's the reason you are giving the power to someone who have the greed, and that's the reason these people are not required for you. These people are not required for it. Why? Because they are going for all these scams. They are going for all these things, and that's the reason both of them, they have failed miserably over the past 75 years. And that's the reason the time has come to go for the dictatorship. The time has come for dictatorship. ठीक है, अगर डिक्टेटरशिप नहीं चाहिए तुम लोगों को, तुम लोग मरोगे, क्योंकि तुम लोग नहीं मरोगे, तुम लोग जिंदा रहोगे. अगर तुम लोग जिंदा रहने को ही जीना बोलेगो, ठीक है, जिंदा रहने को ही जीना बोलोगे, तो कुछ ना कुछ तो गड़बड़ है हिंदुस्तानियों से. जिंदा रहना ही जीना है. जिंदा रहेंगे तो कुत्ते भी रहेंगे, ठीक है, क्या बोलते हैं, गाय भी रहेगा, ठीक है, सुअर भी रहेगा. क्या तुम गाय, सुअर और कुत्ते हो? नहीं ना, तुम हिंदुस्तानी हो. तुम्हारे 2 हाथ है, 2 पाँव है, तुम्हारे को तुम दिमाग दिया गया. सो दैट्स द रीजन दे आर सेइंग लाइक चेंज द गवर्नमेंट, सी द चेंज. No. We have to destroy the government, and we have to bring such a system where we are going to give the power to someone else whom we trust completely, that person is going for the right direction of Indian people progress, and the right Indian land progress, Indian air progress, Indian water progress, and Indian minerals, chemicals, and precious metals progress, and the development of the people by going for a lot of development measures. That is what you need to have. And if you don't do that, okay, you will survive. Your first generation will survive. Now, okay, if someone is going to be married at 2030, his first generation is going to come at 2055, okay, we're 25 years old, okay, and then 2055 to 20, okay, he's going to get married, and then his second generation is and okay, that is third generation 2055, and the fourth generation is going to come at 2082, and the fifth generation is going to come at some 2108. So what about these generations? And you know what, education sucks. Why? Everyone cannot get the job because of the government jobs are very less. So we need another person, we need someone, okay, intelligent. I am unemployed right now, and remember, I am going to get employment, okay, I know that thing. So my employment has nothing to do with Indian people's progress, because my employment has everything to do with my progress. But if you employ me as the dictator of India, yes, give me the employment of dictatorship of India right now, because don't see forward, don't see backward. Just have a trust on one man, because this trust will be for entire next 1000 years. Because after I die, my sons and my daughters are going to take over. This country. Because you can't trust the BJPs and you can't trust the INCs. You can't trust the Bharatiya Janata Party. You can't trust RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, and you know what? You can't trust the yes, exactly. You can't trust both of them, and you can't trust anyone. Why? Because both of them, they have shown their power. They have done some things. They have done such a things which are Congress. They have done some good things because they laid the basic foundational network after independence. Yes, but basic foundational network is not sufficient. You need to build the pillars. You need to build the crown. Okay, you need to build the crown. Okay, you need to build the pillars. You need to build the pillars. You need to build the luxurious things. You need to build the crown. You need to build that crown palace. Okay, the crown of that palace. Okay, you need to build a palace, and at the same point of time, you need to build a great garden with some great flowers, so that the butterflies can smell it. So that is what you need to go for, but you are not going for that. You're just fighting. Okay, my mother just came. And that's the reason, I cannot make the video. I cannot make the video in front of my mother. Okay, that's the reason, the door is closed. Because my mother does not know what I'm asking. We went to some place called as Gokarna, and we said, there some puja was there. And then, I see, if you want to know why your country is not developing, just to go to any religious place and don't worship any god, or else that religious place is associated with some, some selling of some things like some seas or some great businesses nearby. You can go and you can go and don't go and consume it. Just see how the people are. Just see, observe them. People are just going and folding the hands in front of the god like this, and then just see them. Just see their behavior. Just see their camera photos. Just see their camera photos. Just see their camera things, because they have built their mentality for selfies. They built that, they have gone for that thing. You know what? They are just thinking about their God. Yes, God, please protect me. From whom? From whom? The government. Remember, it's a time. There's no God. The government itself is the God, and that's the reason. If the government, whom we trust as a God, it becomes Satan, Shaitan ka bachcha banne. A government, if that becomes Shaitan ka bachcha, so then we have to say, then that's the problem. And you know what, I said something like, play the game and then fix it. You are trying to play the game and then you are fixing it. That's the reason you are fighting a huge problem. Let us make an example of cricket match fixing. If you buy the umpires and if you buy the opposition bowlers, it becomes a very easy for the batsman, and at the same point of time you don't have to worry about the opposition batsman, because just make sure that the ball touches the pad and just appeal, and the umpire is going to give you out. Simple. So play the game and then fix it. Remember, you are trying to play the game and then fixing it. That's the reason you are not winning the game. Just fix the game first and then play it later. Just like if you want to go for trains, if you want to go for train tickets, first you will have a train booking, and then you are booking your seat, booking your slot, and then because you can go at any point of time before the train leaves, and you can get that seat. But what if I told you that if you don't want, there is nothing called as train ticket. Who will go and sit first, they are going to get it. That is what happening inside India, and that's the reason there's so much competition for the jobs, there's so much competition for the money. That's the reason. And that too because of corruption. You know what? This corruption will never ever end. What is corruption? Corruption means funds. The funds which should be used for the people's, Indian people development, Indian people infrastructure, Indian people employment opportunities, Indian people's sanitation, Indian people's progressive welfare schemes. That money has been held by our politicians inside the banks of other countries, and because of which employment opportunities are not created. If they are not created, what will happen? The spending will not happen, because the salaries are taxed, and those taxes are going to the government again. And then what will happen? Through those salaries, they are going to submit their salary certificates inside the banks, and they are going to collect. They are going to take a loan for which they are going to pay the interest to the banks. Then they are going to valuate the currency. And then that particular loans, they are going to buy some goods and services, and those goods and services, they are bought in private sector, and they are going to buy in the private sector, and they are going to pay the tax to the government, that is the administrative sector, and then they are going to pay then they are going to make the profits for a rich man. That's a private sector. Yes, exactly, private businessman. So which means you are doing every single thing you can from one. The corruption whose funds should be utilized for your welfare and your progress, that is being used illegally, subordinately to the foreign countries, and the foreign countries they are getting the same benefits from your funds. That's the reason. Whomever you bring, Congress you bring, BJP you bring, both of them, they are same. They are the same twins. They're just the same pinch. Yeah, they're just the same pinch. One is big, one is small. One will do less corruption, and one will do more corruption. दोनों भाई दोनों तबाही. किसी के हाथ में दो, ठीक है, सत्यानाश करके छोड़ेंगे तुमको. कांग्रेस ने क्या किया 60 साल में पता चला। बीजेपी ने क्या किया वो तो 12 साल में ही पता चला। कांग्रेस ने क्या किया वो 60 सालों में पता चला, और बीजेपी ने क्या किया सिर्फ 12 साल में ही पता चल गया। और अभी चल रहा है, अभी चलेगा और चलेगा, टेंशन मत लो, ठीक है। ये प्रोग्राम, ये स्क्रिप्ट जो है नहीं बीजेपी और कांग्रेस का कभी ख़त्म नहीं होगा। किसी न किसी को तो फुल स्टॉप लगाना पड़ेगा। और फुल स्टॉप कैसे लगाओगे तुम लोग? डिक्टेटरशिप लेके आओगे, एक कॉमन मैन को किंग बना के छोड़ोगे, कलास खत्म। कैसे करना पड़ेगा? खत्म, बात, काम करना ही नहीं पड़ेगा तुमको, ठीक है। हाँ, बोलना पड़ेगा यार हमको क्या चाहिए, हाँ ठीक है। अनशन वनशन करने से कुछ नहीं होगा, ठीक है। बस आर्मी लोगों को ठीक है अनशन वनशन नहीं करने का, ठीक है। देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी प्रोटेस्ट और एनीथिंग। जस्ट गो इन फ्रंट ऑफ द politicians, okay, just go in front of the cops and military to say that okay, you don't want BJP and you don't want Congress, just one common man, let him take over, finished. Okay, that thing can be done. That is the only way, to be doing this thing. I'm not asking you to do the protest, I'm not asking you to do the riots. Just go and say this, because these people, they have something called as section 144A. And you know what section 144A? It is used to control the masses through that particular laws. So that thing itself is a joke. You know what? When people are having some problem and they cannot negotiate, they cannot negotiate the problem, and they cannot revolt against the problem, and they have to negotiate each and every single time. Negotiation. What is this useless negotiation? Okay, how much days you are going to tolerate these people? These people are okay. These people cannot be tolerated. These people are not in any circumstances to be tolerated. Because if these people are tolerated, there is something wrong with you, because these people cannot be tolerated. So I'm not saying this thing like okay, that these people, they are not required for you. These people are not required for you. That much I know. और हिंदुस्तान को संभालने के लिए एक पढ़ा लिखा होना चाहिए, कोई गवार नहीं, कोई अनपढ़ गवार नहीं, कोई भी अनपढ़ नहीं। Because you are trusting many people, those who are people who are not educated at all. Those people, they are not educated. They are sitting inside the parliament and they are doing it. Your finance minister, she does not know about the finance. She does not know about anything about the finance. Your prime minister does not know how to control nation's economy. Okay, first of all, he does not know what is A plus B whole square formula. He does not know. A square plus B square plus into bracket whole square. You have given the Indian administration in those set of people. And you know what? And the persons who are educated, Rahul Gandhi, what he does? He holds the constitution and he says like, I will give you free ration. I will give you 20,000. They are saying something. And we will do some jati ganta and the religious caste. And that's the reason they are going to divide us again and again and again and again. And that's the reason we cannot trust Gandhis, and we cannot trust Gandhi parivars, and we cannot trust Modi parivars. Both of them, they are completely ineligible, inefficient to rule this country. And that much is, A plus B whole square equal to A square plus B square plus into bracket whole square. Bro, what is that? A plus B whole square is equal to, that is LHS. Now write the RHS. LHS is equal to RHS. A plus B into A plus B. A into A square plus A into B. AB plus B into A. Now B into A plus B. B into A, B A. That is, you can arrange it. You can rearrange it in the third step. Plus B into B plus B square. Now the third step. A square plus AB plus B, you can rearrange it as AB plus B square. A square plus AB plus AB, that becomes 2AB. 2 of the AB plus AB, you can write it, and 2AB, A square plus 2AB plus B square. Then that formula came. That is how the standard formula of the algebra of A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB came. You need to have educated person, brothers. You need to have educated persons. He does not, especially Modi, he does not know anything.
He does not know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z of Indian development. He does not know anything. But he still acts like he knows everything. He knows, he does not know anything. That much I came to know. And whatever the schemes are there, yes, exactly. The government needs to give the schemes. The government needs to give the schemes, and the government needs to you to fight. The government needs you to give the schemes, and the government needs to give you a fight. And that's the reason these people, they are in another zone. They are in another zone of dividing you, distracting you, dejecting you, oppressing you, suppressing you each and every single day and each and every single point of time. That's the reason you cannot trust this. And they are saying like, okay, we will build the mandirs and masjids. Mandirs are everywhere, masjids are everywhere. I am fed up of temples. I am fed up of mosques. Yeah, no more temples, no more mosques. Under me, schools, toilets, schools, education, colleges, malls, okay, at the same point of time, textiles, garments, factories, industries, production plants. Yes, exactly. Foreign investment, foreign capital will come. You want this? Yes. Go for me. Yes. You want temples? You want the people who have to go for temples and mosques? Yeah, you can go. Brothers, one thing is clear, brother. Okay, this India can be only developed when one person who is a common man, who knows the problems of a common man, who knows the fate of a common man, who knows the struggle of a common man, the frustration and the confusion and the insecurity of a common man, what he is facing inside the country. That person, he sits inside the throne, and then he supremely rules over the regain of a power, of the totalitarian control, over his power. Yes, exactly. Then that nation will be developed. Then that nation will develop. But he needs to have that's the reason he needs to be educated. He needs to be the educated guy, and he needs to be very greatest guy. He needs to be educated guy, and he needs to know how economics works. And I know that's the reason. From 2.5 years, I'm studying the economics. Living my own future in insecurity. My future is insecure, right? Why? Because dictatorship. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you want to go for anything, they said, dream bigger. I'm not dreaming the bigger. I'm just raising the standard of the dream. That is what. I'm destroying the parliament. I'm destroying the parliament. I'm destroying the constitution. And I'm saying monarchical rule. Monarchical rule is required right now for India. The supreme authority power of India. The supreme authority of power of India. That's what is required for India right now. That's the reason. Remember this thing, dictatorship is required. Dictatorship is required for India. Because remember this thing, there will be strict laws, there will be strict rules and strict laws in order to prevent the vulgar nudity, the vulgar sexual harassment, the vulgar, the insecurity of man over woman, and men over woman over men. All these things will be done. And you know what? The strict cleanliness and no wastage. Every single thing is done under my rule. That too with a strict authority. Okay, remember this thing. Yes, because you need a strict rule. Because that's the reason. You need a strict rule, guys. You need a strict rule. Okay, if you don't need a strict rule, yes, forget about all these things. Okay, remember this thing. If you do, because remember, in the upcoming generations, your future children, they are going to spit upon you. They are going to curse upon you. They are going to curse upon you. They are going to spit upon you. And the foreigners, they are going to, urine upon you. Telling that what the vulgar systems you have developed, what the vulgar environment you have developed, where there is full of waste inside the land, where the land is not safe, where the land is not safe, where the land is not safe, where the environment is not safe, where the air is not safe, anything is not safe, where the people living inside the country, they are not safe, where where they are thinking that they are going back, they're thinking that they are going forward, but they are moving completely backward, again and again, and the civilization is declining. And you know what? The barbarians and the Mongols and the beasts are just appearing, and that's the reason you need some Godzillas. You need some Godzillas to take the power. So that's the reason you need some Godzillas. You need some Godzillas to take the power inside them, and that's the reason they are going to serve. That's the reason they are going to serve you. That's the reason. Because remember, you need to have the mentality of a Godzilla. You need to have the mentality of a Godzilla in order to rule a country. But if you don't have that power, I wish I would have not made the video. Because that's the reason you need a language of iron, you need a language of steel, you need a language of flowers, you need a language of Sanskrit, you need a language of acid, you need a language of gutter in order to handle India. And that's the reason I know everything. I know every single language. I know language of Sanskrit. Okay, means Sanskrit का भाषा बोले तो not that Sanskrit language, means a good language, a great language, a sanskari language. I know a language of flowers, means a very good, a very pleasing language. Yes, I know a language of acid. I know a language of gutter. I know, okay, because I'm built for everything. I'm built for everything. So that's the reason you need to understand you are in a dooming stages of history. You are in a dooming stages of history because the next 25 to 30 years, you are going to kill. You are going to be killed where your survival becomes too much tough. Okay, especially the private sector. Especially the private sector who are working in the private sector, not the government sector. Where the government sector is going to provide them not that much high, not that much low, and they are not going to give them great amount of benefits, great amount of cleanliness, great amount of accountability, great amount of transparency each and every single day, each and every single month, each and every single year, so that they can believe that system works for them. That system will never ever be there. So that's the reason we need to understand this dono tabai has to go at one point of time. Because you need to put a full stop. You need to put a full stop to democracy. You need to start a new chapter of monarchy. You need to start a new chapter of dictatorship. You need to put a full stop. You need to put a full stop. And you need to say, yes, a new chapter begin. Let the new chapter begin. Because enough is enough. 80 years you have seen. In this 80 years, you have seen 60 years of Congress. And who laid the basic foundational network. Okay, that is good. And then what about the pillars? Then what about the crown? Then what about the garden? Then what about the flowers? Then what about the butterfly? No. Where every single country is moving forward. And we and our own people, they are backstabbing our own progress through the corruption. They are through the inaccountability and no transparency. And that is what this India is lagging. And that's the reason the time has come, guys. The time has come, ladies. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen. And the time has come to the young children, young infants, the uncles, the aunties, the elders, everyone. I'm going to say this one. This is the thing. This is the right thing to be done. And you don't need democracy. Okay, what is vote? What is vote? That vote can be sold. And you are selling yourself for some biryani, some vodka, some beer bottle, and some 20 to 25,000 funds. And for that 20 to 25,000 funds for one note, and at the same point of time for the vote to be printed by this, and at the same point of time you are giving some beer bottles and some biryanis. For this thing you are selling your own country for 5 years. And these people, when they come to power for 5 years, they are going to waste their time in rallies. They are going to waste their time in speeches. They are going to waste their time in rallies, speeches, and resorts, hotels, bungalows. Rich parties, rich marriages. They are going to waste their time. Blah 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 black shit, blah 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 black shit. So this is the thing. So these people, they do blah blah blah. And then whenever you revolt, you have to negotiate. You have to bring the concern. So you have to negotiate every single time. You have to negotiate. You have to protest. You have to revolt each and every single time. The government will not do any single thing inside your favor. That is what this democracy does. That is what this democracy does. And you have done it 15 times. After independence, you have done 15 times. You have just had 15 governments, and this 15 governments of 3 of the BJP and the 12 of the Congress, they have done every single thing okay, completely just basic foundational network and some pillars, and that's basic foundational network they have given. But in order to build the empire, in order to build this palace of India, in order to build the palace of India, brick by brick, okay, brick by brick, cement upon cement, brick by brick, cement upon cement, okay, stone by stone, and you know what, okay, this you know what, okay, pillars need to be constructed, the domes need to be constructed, okay, renovation needs to be done, a lot of renovation needs to be done, and you know, a lot of luxuries need to be done inside and outside the palace. A lot of great palace needs to be given, a great palace, and this great palace will be given, this great palace will be done with the great garden, and the great garden is going to have that great beautiful flowers, and the great and you know, the beautiful butterflies are going to come, and they're going to sit on this particular thing, and that is what the India requires right now. That is what India requires right now, and that's the reason someone needs to come from somewhere else, from the grave, from the ashes, from the from someone, from the destiny, and they have to say, this is my destiny, and that's the reason I was born, I think, to rule India. And if you don't decide that this destiny you are going to destroy it, this destiny you are going to say, yes, we don't want it. Okay, well and good. Okay, but this thing is very, very important for the next 1000 years, because you are playing the game and then you're fixing it. So that's the reason. Okay, just like you're not booking the slot of train ticket, and you are just going for competition, and that's the reason someone is sitting there and you have to stand, and that's the reason you are not getting the things, and that's the reason you are suffocating. That's the reason why. Too much competition for one seat. So that's the thing which has to be eliminated by bringing the wealth equality. Okay, I'm going to bring that thing. I know how to bring that. Yeah. Under my government, there's nothing called as rich class, there's nothing called as poor class, there's nothing called as middle class. There's nothing called as rich class, there is nothing called as middle class, there's nothing called as poor class. Everyone belongs to the Indian class. But depending upon the professions. Simple. Where the interest rates, where the taxes, where the price of the goods and commodities, it is judged depending upon the profession. Where the benefits will be given depending upon the profession. Where some common benefits will be there for every single profession, but there will be professional wise benefits for everyone. So that's how I'm going to rule the state. That is how I'm going to rule this thing. Why? Because you need to understand, we are in toughest phase. And our people's lives are in danger. Where top 1% holds 40% of the nation's wealth, where top 10% holds 68% of the nation's wealth, where the bottom 50%, they hold only 6.4% of the Indian. What is the meaning of that? It's just like if India is you know what, how much people are there? 146 1.46 billion, 1,460 million. Out of this 1.46 billion, this top 1%, that is 1.46 billion, they hold nations for yes, exactly. And what is the meaning of that? The top 10%, which means the top 10%, these people, they hold how much? These people, they hold how much? 68%, which means 14.6 crore people, they hold how much? 68% of the 68% of the nation's wealth. And the bottom 50 especially, how much? 73 crore people, they are going to hold only 6.4, and the middle 58 crore people, they are going to hold how much? Some 25% of the nation. Some 25% of 58 crore people, they are having 25. So this is how the matrix is done. And because of this wealth inequality, this problems, we are facing a lot of problems because of this. And that's the reason where I come into picture and I say enough is enough. We have to go for wealth equality, and we need to have a government centralized production systems. That is going to eliminate the private sector. That is going to eliminate the private sector once and for all, and the mixing of the professions will be done, and the mixing of the and you know what, the losing of the incentive to work will be done through the that thing will be fixed where every single asset belongs to everyone. Every single hotel will be okay, except the houses and the family members. Every single house belongs to every single hotel belongs to everyone. Every single school belongs to everyone. Where every single college belongs to everyone. Every single college belongs to everyone, and the government, where every single medical institution belongs to everyone, where every single mall belongs to everyone, where every single agricultural land, where every single agricultural land belongs to everyone, where every single fertile agricultural land belongs to everyone, where every single wine store and the bars belongs to everyone, where every single factories, industries, textiles, that belongs to everyone. And if you are an Indian, you are owner of all these things, and the government is the and the government is the administrator of all these things. That is the government which I like. That is the government which I am going to do it for having the wealth equality of India. So if you want that, all those benefits which I'm going to say it in the next video, you need to have it. And remember this thing, before ending the video, I'm going to show the inefficiency of the governments, which has been done for the last 8 years. And that's the reason you need to say goodbye to the government and you need to say welcome to the king. And that's the reason we need to have a kingsmanship. And you know what? I'm not going for this 9 to 5 or 7 jobs. I'm going for 9 to 5 7 jobs, exactly. But this 9 to 5 or 7 jobs, I should consume this time. I should have this productivity of a time in order for the development of the nation, not for this 9 to 5 useless. I should win. I can win, I know how to win, but this thing should be done for remember this thing. आज तक हिंदुस्तान में एक भी पढ़ा लिखा आदमी आया नहीं, राजनीति को छोड़ के अलग से आए। क्या किया? कुछ काम किए गए, लेकिन कभी भी हिंदुस्तान की जो तरक्की नहीं, जम्मू कश्मीर से लेके तमिलनाडु तक और गुजरात से लेके गल्फ ऑफ कच्छ से लेकर अरुणाचल प्रदेश तक, कभी भी किसी भी वक्त उठा के देख लो, कभी भी कुछ भी नहीं हो। और इसीलिए शायद लगता है कि अब वक्त आ चुका है कि किसी ना किसी को तो पढ़ा लिखा आदमी, एक बैचलर ऑफ साइंस वाले बंदे को और एक मास्टर ऑफ साइंस वाले बंदे को, ठीक है, बैचलर ऑफ साइंस और मास्टर ऑफ साइंस वाले बंदे को अगर इस देश को दोगे तो इस देश का उद्धार होगा। और आने वाले वक्त जब तुम जियोगे, जब तुम अपनी ज़िंदगी की खुशी का पल मनाओगे और जब तुम मरोगे, ये खुशी के साथ तुम मरोगे कि हमारे देश का जो राजा है वो प्रजा का सेवा करता है आने वाले 100 साल या 1000 साल तक। वो इम्पोर्टेंट है और ये इम्पोर्टेंट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो तुम्हारे बच्चे मरेंगे, और तुम्हारे बच्चे जो नहीं, तुम्हारे जो आने वाले फ्यूचर जनरेशन है, जहाँ पे तू दद्दू है, ठीक है, अभी तू शादीशुदा भी नहीं, अभी तुझे ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि अभी तू दद्दू है, मतलब ठीक है, अपने खानदान का दद्दू है। और अपने खानदान का दद्दू को ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि मैं अपने फ्यूचर जनरेशन्स जो बच्चा मैं पैदा करने वाला हूँ, अपने बच्चे जो बच्चे पैदा करने वाले हैं, आने वाले 50 100 150 साल के बाद, वो बच्चे किस गवर्नमेंट के अंडर होंगे? एक राजा के अंडर होंगे या फिर ये दोनों करप्ट गवर्नमेंट के अंडर होंगे? एक करप्ट इनएफिशिएंट गवर्नमेंट के अंडर होंगे जहाँ पे इनके खुद को मालूम। और ठीक है, स्विस गवर्नमेंट्स के लिए हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, क्योंकि सारा का सारा करप्शन करना स्विस गवर्नमेंट के पास चले, और उसके साथ साथ JP मॉर्गन चेस ऐसा। तो हम लोग किसके लिए काम कर रहे हैं? किसके लिए टैक्स भर रहे हैं? किसके लिए इंटरेस्ट भर रहे हैं? ताकि हमारा जो डॉलर है 190 रुपीज़ हो चुका है। ठीक है, अभी दिखाता हूँ भाई, अभी दिखाता हूँ $1 अभी दिखाता हूँ $1। ठीक है, पाताल लोग पहुँच गए, अभी पाताल लोग पहुँच गए। $1 यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स डॉलर इक्वल टू 90.73। देखो ये इम्पोर्टेंट। And that is what the currency devaluation has done, and that's the reason the currency devaluation has a lot of problems. You know what? Currency devaluation leads to currency devaluation poverty, hunger, and it's because of corruption, and it's because of corruption, and it's because of corruption inside the government, and the monopoly of the rich people, and the monopoly of the rich people. See,
Currency devaluation is a complex economic policy tool that, when misused or driven by structural weaknesses, can lead to significant negative social and economic consequences, including increased unemployment, poverty, and hunger. While designed as a strategic move to
ಏನಮ್ಮ?
boost exports, it often acts
Huh?
to regress population, exacerbating inequality, especially when accompanied by corruption and market concentration. The mechanism: how devaluation causes poverty and hunger. 1. Imported inflation. Devaluation makes foreign goods more expensive. In countries reliant on importing food, fuel, and medicine, this immediately raises the cost of living, pushing vulnerable populations into poverty and hunger. 2. Erosion of purchasing power. As domestic prices rise, the real wages of workers fall, reducing their ability to afford basic necessities. 3. Unemployment. While intended to boost export industries, devaluation can hurt businesses dependent on imported raw materials or machinery. Increased production costs can force layoffs, particularly in manufacturing. And 4. Impact on smallholders. In some cases, devaluation can destroy local markets if it coincides with the removal of subsidies or changes to agricultural support, disproportionately affecting rural workers. The role of corruption and economic concentration. 1. Systemic
ಏನಮ್ಮ?
corruption reduces government
ತಡಿ, ನಾನು
revenue
ಆಮೇಲೆ ತೆಗಿತೇನೆ.
and investment. When governments are corrupt, they may prioritize large, over-budget projects over essential services, leaving less money for social safety nets that could protect the poor during a devaluation crisis. 2. Regressive impacts. Corruption often ensures that the benefits of economic policies accrue to the well-connected elite, while the costs are borne by the general public, increasing income inequality. 3. Monopoly, crony capitalism. A lack of competition means that rich individuals or companies can use their influence to sway government policy, ensuring high prices for their products while suppressing wages, further increasing poverty. And 4. Black money and weakened economy. Unchecked corruption and the flight of capital, black money, to tax havens diminish the resources available for development, reducing the overall capacity of the economy to withstand shocks. Key takeaways: while not every devaluation leads to disaster, the combination of a sharp drop in currency value, high dependence on imports, and systemic corruption often results in a vicious cycle where the poor are severely affected, leading to increased hunger and social unrest. Addressing these issues requires not just monetary adjustment, but also strong governance, transparency, and policies that protect the most vulnerable.
किसी के पास तो अकल होना पड़ेगा, किसी ना किसी के पास तो अकल होना पड़ेगा कि देश को कैसे चलाया जाए, देश को कैसे चलाया जाए। ठीक है, इस आदमी के ऊपर भरोसा नहीं कर सकते, इस आदमी के ऊपर बिल्कुल भी भरोसा नहीं कर सकते। पढ़े लिखे आदमी, तुम राहुल गांधी के ऊपर भरोसा कर सकते हो, लेकिन राहुल गांधी साहब तो भी ठीक है, क्या है करेंसी, ठीक है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का बुक पकड़ के ठीक है ये बोलते हैं, और उसके साथ साथ वो भी क्या है, ठीक है, क्या है, दूसरे पार्टी को, बीजेपी को कंप्लेन करते हो, मीन्स दे आर जस्ट कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट द बीजेपी टू कम टू पावर। दे आर सेइंग लाइक कि हम लोग तुमको वो देंगे, ये देंगे, but they are not telling the problems and their solutions, the real problems and the real solutions. They are telling about the vote chore. Okay, vote chore, gaddi chore. Okay, we don't want that thing. Okay, how you are going to, okay, मैं राहुल गांधी साहब से यही पूछना चाहता हूँ कि पीएम बने, आप सोचो कि आप पीएम बने, ठीक है, आप पीएम बनने के बाद क्या करेंगे, देश को कैसे चलाएंगे, आने वाले 10-15 साल, सोच लो, 10-15 साल टाइम दिया, 20 साल दिया, 30 साल दिया, कैसे करेंगे। अभी आपका उम्र जो है 55 है, ठीक है, जब 85 होगा तो कैसे चलाएंगे, ठीक है। उनके पास वो रेशियोज है ही नहीं, उनका बस क्या है कि पावर में आना, ठीक है। हिंदुस्तान को पावर में ग्रेड ऑफ पावर, ग्रेड ऑफ फंड्स की ज़रूरत नहीं, हिंदुस्तान को ऐसे लोगों की भी ज़रूरत नहीं, हिंदुस्तान को कैसे लोगों की ज़रूरत है पता है, जो ये बोले कितना एफिशिएंट गवर्नमेंट देने के लिए मैं आने वाला हूँ, मैं हिंदुस्तान को 99% एफिशिएंसी दूंगा और 1% करप्शन करूँगा। यस, देयर विल बी करप्शन अंडर माई 1% इज द माई सैलरी, व्हाट इज 1% माई सैलरी इज नॉट फिक्स्ड, दैट इज फिक्स्ड फॉर ओनली 10 years, and then next 10 years it is going to be reduced, not increased, reduced मतलब बढ़ेगा नहीं, घटेगा, मतलब 0.5%, 1% से 0.5%, उसके बाद में 0.25, उसके बाद में 10 साल, मतलब फ्रॉम 2026 to 2036 1% करप्शन फ्रॉम, ओके, 1% करप्शन मीन्स मेरे को अमीर बनना है, ठीक है, मेरे को भी अमीर बनना है, ठीक है, मैं सीधा सीधा बोलूँगा, बिकॉज यू नीड अ ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी फ्रॉम द डिक्टेटर। 1% leakage, 1% leakage, and the second one is how much? Second one is 0.5% leakage. That is for next 10 years, from 2036 to 2046, and then in next 10 years, that is 2046 to 2056, where my age is going to be somewhat like 57 or 58. That again, until that end, 0.25, and then after that, my sons and my daughters are going to take away only 0.1% of the. They are going to do 0.1% corruption, and we are going to become very rich. ठीक है, एक बंदा अमीर बनेगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन सबके सब अमीर बनेंगे, हाँ, ठीक है, एक बंदा अमीर बनेगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, ठीक है, एक बंदा, एक फैमिली अमीर बनेगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन सबके सब अमीर बनेंगे। राज्यसभा में जो बैठा है, जो कि राज्यसभा में जो बैठा है, जो लोकसभा में जो बैठा है, जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स में जो बैठे हैं, उसके साथ साथ ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियर्स को जोड़ो, गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियर्स, गवर्नमेंट क्लर्क्स, गवर्नमेंट तहसीलदार्स, म्यूनसिपैलिटी ऑफिसर्स, उसके साथ साथ ठीक है आगे मिडलमैन, कॉमन मैन, न्यूज़ एंकर्स, दलाल्स, सबको जोड़ोगे। कैंपेन फंडिंग फाइनेंस, लॉस ऑफ टैक्स पेयर्स मनी थ्रू करप्शन। टाटा ग्रुप ने 758 करोड़ दिए और बीजेपी ने बदले में क्या दिए, 44,500 समथिंग करोड़ जो नहीं सब्सिडी दे दी, और वो जो लोड है नहीं किसने ली, हिंदुस्तान के लोगों ने लिए। क्यों? और अंबानी अदानी तो नाच रहे चांद पे, उनके बच्चे भी नाचेंगे उनके, लेकिन तुम्हारे बच्चे कहाँ होंगे, पाताल में, ये समझना। लेकिन इसलिए तो तुम लोगों को बोल रहा हूँ नहीं, मैं ऐसा नहीं कि मैं संत हूँ, मैं संत नहीं हूँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ मैं करप्शन करूँगा, कितना करूँगा, 1%, और वो भी तुमको बता के करूँगा, तुम्हारे सामने ही करूँगा करप्शन, ठीक है, तुम्हारे सामने ही करूँगा, और तुम खुशी वो करप्शन करने के लिए दोगे। क्यों? 99% एफिशिएंसी कौन देगा? मैं दूँगा, अगर तुम मेरे को डिक्टेटर बना के छोड़ दिए तो। सिर्फ मैं करप्शन करूँगा मैं, ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस में या फिर कोई मिनिस्टर नहीं, ठीक है, कोई घंटा एक बूटी कौड़ी भी करप्शन नहीं करे, इतना स्ट्रिक्ट रूल लेके आऊँगा मैं। तो करप्शन किया तो तेरा खानदान अंदर गया, टेंशन मत ले। सिर्फ तू अंदर नहीं जाएगा, तेरा खानदान ही अंदर जाएगा, टेंशन मत ले। क्या बोलते? That is what you need. That is what you need. The strict people. You need a strict people who need the strict, who have the strict administration, and then they are going to bring the development. Yes, exactly. That is what you need, and that's the reason you have to say this thing has to go away. This thing has to go away. This thing has to go away, and then it will go away when you die. Okay, and that's the reason you are okay. You have you are trying to play the game. You are trying to play the game, and then you are trying to fix it. No. You should first book the dictator. I'm not saying okay. जैसे कि तुम लोग वी आर ओके, जैसे कि तुम लोग, ठीक है, ठीक है, जो स्लीपर कोच बसेस है नहीं, वहाँ पे पहले बुकिंग करते हो, उसके बाद में सीट फिक्स होता है, ठीक है, उसके साथ साथ ट्रेन में फिक्स होता है सीट, ठीक है, स्लीपर कोच, अपर कोच, हाँ, ठीक है, उसके साथ साथ ठीक है, तुम लोग बुक करते हो, ठीक है, डाइनिंग टेबल्स को कभी कभार होटल में, that's how you need to book a dictator. You need to have a dictator and his generations and his blood for the next 1,000 years, for next 1,000 years, next 2,000 years, next 3,000 years, until his, yes, exactly, my blood, my DNA is going to rule India for the next 1,000 years, or next 2,000 years, next 3,000 years. That is what I am saying. That is the condition. That's the condition. मेरे बच्चे ही होंगे, क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपने बच्चे के ऊपर भरोसा कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि जो मैंने एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वैल्यूज दिए हैं वही करेंगे। एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन फर्स्ट, परफेक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तुमको क्या चाहिए? परफेक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन चाहिए, मैं परफेक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन दूंगा तुमको। लेकिन हाँ, ठीक है, हाँ, और अगर तुम लोगों ने हंसा इसके ऊपर, हंस ले, जितना हंसना है हंस ले, मैं भी हंसूंगा तेरे ऊपर कि तू पढ़ा लिखा है लेकिन अनपढ़ लोगों को खड़ा कर गया। मैं हंसूंगा तेरे ऊपर कि तू कीचड़ के ऊपर चलता है, तू ठीक है, तू नाजायज़ लावारिस रोड के ऊपर घूमता है और कंप्लेंट नहीं करता। मैं हंसूंगा तेरे ऊपर, तू मेरे ऊपर हंस, मैं भी तेरे ऊपर हंसूंगा। इसीलिए ये हंसने का खेल नहीं है, ये कॉमेडी नहीं चल रहा है यहाँ पे। बहुत सारे लोगों की जो जान है नहीं, वो दांव पे लग चुका है। उनके जान तो दांव पे लग नहीं चुका। उनके फ्यूचर जनरेशंस जो 20-25 साल के बाद, ठीक है, 25 साल के बाद अभी शादी होगा, शादी होने के बाद बच्चे पैदा होंगे, बच्चे कब आगे बढ़ेंगे? 25 साल के बाद, ठीक है, उनकी शादी होगा। मतलब उनके जनरेशंस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तो छोड़ के जाना पड़ेगा। तुम लोगों को क्या छोड़ के जाओगे? क्या घंटा एफडी छोड़ के जाओगे? तुमको सरकार छोड़ के जाना पड़ेगा। एफडी छोड़ के मत जा, सरकार को छोड़ के जा, ठीक है, सरकार को छोड़ के नहीं, ठीक है, एक डिक्टेटर को छोड़ के जा, उनके पूरा का पूरा खानदान को छोड़ के जा, जो तुम्हारे जो फ्यूचर जनरेशन है नहीं, उसको कंट्रोल करे। वो चाहिए तुमको। दैट इज़ वॉट यू रीड, दैट इज़ वॉट यू रिक्वायर राइट नाउ, ठीक है, हाँ। और अगर तू हंसा, हंस ले बेटा, हंस ले, जितना दिन तक हंसेगा हंस ले। 10 दिन जिएगा, 10 दिन हंसेगा, 20 दिन हंसेगा, 30 दिन हंसेगा, 2 साल तक हंसेगा, कितना दिन? एक ना एक दिन तो भूल जाएगा कि मैंने क्या बोला है। लेकिन अगर तूने ऐसा काम किया, एक बार मैच को फिक्स कर ले, एक बार मैच को फिक्स कर ले और उसके बाद में खेल ले, कितना आसान होगा। पहले अंपायर को खरीद और उसके साथ साथ अंपायर को खरीद, प्लेयर्स को खरीद, आराम से खेल ले, खत्म बात, ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं। इसलिए तुमको जो सिस्टम है नहीं, उसको फिक्स करना पड़ेगा। यू हैव टू फिक्स द सिस्टम एंड देन यू हैव टू प्ले इनसाइड इट। You have to fix the system and then you have to play inside in it. Then you have to fix the system of the country and then you have to live like a citizens of the country inside it, not like animals. So that's the reason you are living like an animal because of competition. You are living like an animal because of hatred, violence, chaos, hunger, reservation. Yes, exactly. So that's the reason you have to fix the system. You have to fix the system of the girl. You have to fix the system. And then you have to live inside, you have to fix the system of a country, and then you have to live inside that country as citizens of the country. That is what I want. And if that is not done, then nothing is done. And that's the reason, that's the reason you cannot give the system to both the parties, and both the parties are useless. Then both the parties, you cannot trust them, because you have given, Congress, you have given them 60 years, and then you removed them, there was one BJP government in between, that is Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and you know what, and then, we have given the BJP almost some 3 government, how much, 4 governments, and Congress 11 governments. The Congress 11 governments, they have shown you the power, how much they have, the 55 years, and the BJP governments for almost some, some 20 years they are going to complete it inside the 2029. Yeah. So both of these people, the 75 years, they have said it to you, how much they have gone. They have just given some basic foundational network, basic foundational things, healthcare, education, IT sector, every single thing has to be done. It's there in Ethiopia, it is there in African countries. Does India is equal to Africa? But see China, see America, see England, see UK, see France, see Ecuador, see Costa Rica, see Australia, see New Zealand, see the Western European countries, Germany, Austria, Lithuania, Latvia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Luxembourg, Greece. See all these countries, see all these countries, and see someone is having a euro, someone is, yes, that's the reason, that's the reason, someone is having a euro, someone is having a pound, someone is having Kuwait dinar, someone is having US dollar, someone is having Canadian dollar, and what you're having, that's useless 1 rupee, that is not going to buy anything in the international market, that's going to buy only in the Indian market. That is what you have. And that's the reason someone has to come from the ashes, someone has to rise from the grave, and he has to rise the India in a very great manner. So that's the reason you need to have. And if you don't understand it, and if you don't understand my words right now, your future generations are going to repent. They're going to slap you if you're alive, and if not, they're going to burn your photos. They're not going to put the garlands on your photos. They're going to throw the chappals. They're going to burn your portraits for missing the golden opportunity of it. This is not a golden opportunity. This is once in a lifetime opportunity. Because if I am gone to other country, finish gone, your entire hopes are going to be devastated. Then your entire life is going to be devastated, not yours. Yes, exactly. ठीक है, मर के जीना जो है नहीं, कुत्ते भी जी लेते हैं, लेकिन जब इंसान जिएगा नहीं, तो इंसान और कुत्ते में कोई फर्क नहीं रह जाएगा. So that's the reason you need to understand. That's the reason this corruption has to go, this currency devaluation has to go, this inflation has to go, this inaccountability, no transparency. This all things should be going, and that's the reason. And you have to work hard for the progress of the nation. That nation which includes you as the citizens and the honorable citizens of a country, not as a slaves, not as a gulam of the country. That's the reason. That's the reason that this matrix has to go, and someone has to start from somewhere, and the common man has to rise like a king. And one common man, if you make him a king, he will make every single common man as a king to live inside this particular society, Indian society, as one community, where every single one works for each other, where everyone loves the company of each other, where everyone tries for the progress of the nation collectively through the taxes, through the interest, through the currency valuation. That is what you need to do. What you say? But no, you still want those same 2 garbages. You want the same 2 garbages? Yes, exactly. Yes. You want the same 2 garbages. Exactly. There are two garbages. One is less garbage, one is more garbage. Remember this thing. Less garbage, more garbage. But that's the reason they will make your life only garbage. They will not make your life garbage. They will make your future generations' life garbages. And that's the reason both of them are not required. The persons who waste their time in parties, rallies, interviews, press conferences, they're not required. The one person should go from place to place and develop the land, air, water, natural resources, everything. And bring the foreign investments, foreign capitals, and you know what? And at the same point of time, he has to validate the currency, and he has to work from 9 to 5 or 7, not from this jobs. Anyone can do it because those who have concepts. Because remember this thing, I can become a lecturer, I can become a professor, I can become, you know what, philosopher, I can become a teacher, I can become a 4K YouTube streaming, I can become a filmmaker, I can become a film artist, I can become a game designer or game director. Okay, I have all these traits. I can do whatever I want. But these things anyone can do. But the administration of India is very, very important. I can do the administration of India in a very good way, in a complete, diversified, creative way, such that India can be a great place to live, love, thrive, prosper, flourish, rather than survive like animals. So that's the reason you need to have it. That's the reason you need to bring someone to power. This power is very, very important for the rise of India. Or else I will cancel the citizenship of India. I have to cancel the citizenship of India. लेकिन सब क्योंकि क्या है ना कि सब लोग ठीक है, क्या है ना कि सब लोग क्या बोलते हैं, ठीक है, मजाक उड़ाएंगे बोले तो ठीक है, अबे तू क्या है, ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं चलता, ठीक है, मजाक उड़ा के ये लोग सत्यानाश करके छोड़ेंगे, लेकिन चलेगा, ठीक है, लेकिन किसी ना किसी को तो बदनाम होना पड़ेगा, एक ना एक बार मीडिया के सामने आकर बोलना पड़ेगा कि तुम लोग कायर हो, तुम लोग ठीक है, नाजायज लावारिस कुत्ते कमीने रोड्स को पैदा कर रहे हो, ठीक है, कुत्ते कमीने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को पैदा कर रहे हो, ठीक है, नहीं, तुमको बेहतरीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पैदा करना पड़ेगा, तुमको बेहतरीन तरक्की लेने के आना पड़ेगा, तुमको बेहतरीन एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ देना पड़ेगा, तुमको बेहतरीन बेनिफिट्स देना पड़ेगा प्रोफेशन वाइज, तुमको ये सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा। तुमको ऐसा सरकार चाहिए, ठीक है। नेता होते नहीं हैं, मैं नेता नहीं हूँ, ठीक है, लेकिन इन लोगों ने मजबूर किया कि ऐसा भाषण देने को, क्योंकि भाई देखिए जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ नहीं, ये टेलीप्रोमोटर को देख के बोल नहीं रहा हूँ, तुम्हारे मोदी साहब है नहीं, वो टेलीप्रोमोटर को देख के बोलेंगे, ठीक है, खत्म 56 इंच का सीना नहीं है मेरे पास, लेकिन मेरे जितना भी इंच का सीना नहीं, उस सीने के अंदर दिल है, बड़ा दिल, इतना तो पक्का मैं बोलता हूँ। तुमको ना ही मोदी चाहिए, ना ही गांधी चाहिए, ना ही दोनों नहीं चाहिए, तुमको सिर्फ और सिर्फ SMG चाहिए, स्वरूप महावर को ही चाहिए, तुमको यह सिर्फ और सिर्फ SMG चाहिए, स्वरूप महावर को ही चाहिए, सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक बंदा जो सुप्रीम तरीके से, ठीक है, हाँ, ठीक है, गोली दागे मशीन गन की तरह डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर, बस इतना ही, कल्लास और तुम लोग अगर वेट करोगे नहीं, कोई आने वाला है ही नहीं, तुम लोगों को सत्यानाश करके जाने वाला, बस इतना मैं पक्का बोल सकता हूँ। और अगर तुम लोगों को नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है, मरो इनके हाथ में मरो, ठीक है, मरने के लिए पैदा हुए हो, ठीक है, तुम लोग अब नहीं समझोगे, तुम्हारा जो ठीक है, तुम्हारा जो बच्चा है नहीं, ठीक है, जब पैदा होगा 1.7 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन होने वाला है 2060 में, लेकिन तुम लोग ये बोल रहे हो कि ठीक है हिंदुस्तान इकोनॉमी बढ़ रहा है, अबे हिंदुस्तान इकोनॉमी गए बाहर में, जितने पैदा लोग होंगे वही तो सोचो, 1.7 1.8 1.75 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन पहुंच गया है, तो सब के सब रोएंगे, क्यों रोएंगे? सबके पास डिग्री है, सबके पास PUC है, सबके पास SSLC डिग्री है, PUC डिग्री है, उसके बाद में इंजीनियरिंग का डिग्री, उसके बाद इंजीनियरिंग तो गया भाड़ में, क्यों? AI आ चुका है, उसके बाद में डॉक्टर, ठीक है, कितने लोग, ठीक है, डॉक्टर, सबके सब डॉक्टर के पास पेशेंट जाएंगे? नहीं, क्यों? बहुत सारे लोग MBBS कर चुके, नीट, हाँ, ठीक है, मतलब क्या होगा, ठीक है, 500 200 300 मीटर में एक क्लिनिक खोलेगा तो ज़िंदगी कैसे होगा, ठीक है, सब लोग डॉक्टर बनेंगे, तभी तो भाई, ठीक है, डॉक्टर होना चाहिए, इसलिए गवर्नमेंट सेंट्रलाइज प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम्स होना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट सेंट्रलाइज डॉक्टर्स होना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट सेंट्रलाइज इंजीनियर्स होना चाहिए, हाँ एग्जैक्टली, जो गवर्नमेंट को स्टेबिलिटी देगा उन डॉक्टर्स को, प्राइवेट, हाँ, तभी तो नहीं तो मल्टी स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल में जाके भरना और भरना, पैसे भरते ही रहना, लेकिन ऐसा ही चलता रहेगा और कभी आगे बढ़ेगा नहीं। हिंदुस्तान को आगे बढ़ना है तो हमारे जैसे लोग आने चाहिए, क्यों? पढ़े लिखे लोग आने चाहिए, और मैं अपने ऑफिसर में, और मैं स्ट्रिक्ट तरीके से बोलता हूँ, मैं अपने इलेक्शन, ठीक है, मैं अपने ऑफिसर्स, अपने डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर्स को कैसे इवेल्यूएट करूँगा पता है? रिटन टेस्ट, ओरल टेस्ट, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टेस्ट एंड द कमांड टेस्ट, मतलब कैसे वो क्या जानता है एक फील्ड के बारे में ताकि वो मिनिस्टर बन सके और वो एक ऑफिसर बन। मिनिस्टर का शब्द हटाया जाए, हटा दिया जाएगा और ऑफिसर बोला जाएगा। हेल्थ ऑफिसर, ही इज़ अ हेल्थ ऑफिसर ऑफ इंडिया, ही इज़ अ फाइनेंशियल ऑफिसर ऑफ इंडिया। नो फाइनेंशियल मिनिस्टर, नो मिनिस्टर इज रिक्वायर्ड राइट। मिनिस्टर का शब्द हटा के मंत्री कंत्री का शब्द हटा के छोड़ूंगा मैं, ठीक है। क्या करूँगा, ठीक है, ऑफिसर का शब्द लगा, ठीक है। पहले 4 टेस्ट पास करने होंगे उसे। पहले रिटर्न टेस्ट कि क्या जानता है, पढ़ा लिखा है कि नहीं, ठीक है, राइट कर सकता है कि ABCD आता है कि नहीं, डेवलपमेंट का स्पेलिंग मालूम है कि नहीं उसको, DEVELOPEMENT, DEVELOPMENT का स्पेलिंग आता है कि नहीं उसको, ठीक है। डेवलपमेंट का करने से पहले डेवलपमेंट का स्पेलिंग आता है कि नहीं वो पूछना पड़ेगा, ABCD आता है कि नहीं पूछना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। रिटर्न टेस्ट, ठीक है, वो कितना जानता है एक क्षेत्र के बारे में, हेल्थ ऑफिसर बनना चाहता है तो हेल्थ ऑफिस, ठीक है, हाँ। उसके बाद में ओरल टेस्ट कि कैसे वो बात करता है। उसके बाद में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टेस्ट, कैसे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करेगा 5 साल, आने वाले 10 साल में कैसे, ठीक है, अपने हाँ, ठीक है, हाँ, अपने हमारे जो नौजवान हैं उनको आना पड़ेगा पॉलिटिक्स में, ठीक है। उसके बाद में होगा, ठीक है, कमांड टेस्ट, उनके कमांड कैसे होगा, वो कितने स्ट्रिक्ट होंगे अपने कमांड में। कमांड टेस्ट, ठीक है। पहले रिटर्न टेस्ट, उसके बाद में ओरल टेस्ट, उसके बाद में एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टेस्ट, मतलब कैसे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन होगा, मतलब उनके जो फ्यूचर, ठीक है, फ्यूचर के जो गाइडलाइंस है आने वाले 10 साल 20 साल कैसे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन होगा उनका, हाँ, वो 5 साल तक है। या उसके बाद में होगा क्या, फॉरेन आगे, मतलब उसके बाद में क्या होगा कि, ठीक है, क्या बोलते हैं भाई उसको, कमांड टेस्ट, कैसे कमांड करेगा, ठीक है, बात करना आना चाहिए, कैसे कमांड में सबको रखना चाहिए, अथॉरिटी स्ट्रिक्ट, क्या करोगे, कैसे, ठीक है। मिनिस्टर को गाली देना भी आना चाहिए, मिनिस्टर को प्यार से बात करना भी आना चाहिए, मिनिस्टर को स्ट्रिक्ट रहना भी आना चाहिए, ठीक है। ऑफिसर्स को, हाँ, ठीक है, मिनिस्टर का शब्द ही निकाल के छोड़ूंगा मैं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से। हिंदुस्तान, रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, इंडिया डज नॉट नीड पॉलिटिक्स, ठीक है। Politics needs Indians administration, but Indian people does not need politics. Indian people does not need politics. Indian people does not need politics, but politician people, they need administration of India in order to get this. And that's the reason this process will go on forever. These elections will go on forever for 5 years, and this thing will not be changed. And you have to kill the government, you have to kill the system, and you have to bring a new system where that's the reason, and you have to give the power to such a system and his clan, his generation, his blood, so that your blood is going to be preserved. So if you give the power to my blood, your future generation blood is going to be completely secured and safe for the next 1000 years to come. Not just for this, that much. And okay, that's the reason, by providing 99% efficiency for the first 10 years, 99.5% efficiency for the next 10 years, and the 99.75% efficiency for the next 10 years, and the 99.99% for the next 970 years on, and beyond that. And that is what you need to do. And that's the reason someone has to come from somewhere else. Someone has to rise from the ashes. Someone has to rise from the grave. And he has to say, enough is enough. Garbage is enough. Garbage is enough garbage. Enough waste is enough waste. Enough. No transparency is not. So that's the, okay. And that's the reason it's going to be a big headache for me. But I will take this headache to solve the problems of India. Because I don't like the headaches. मैं गेम खेलने वाले बंदा हूँ, मैं आराम से मौज मस्ती करने वाला बंदा हूँ, ठीक है। लेकिन पहली बार तुम लोगों के लिए जिम्मेदारी लेना पड़ेगा, तभी मैं मर्द कहलाऊँगा अपने आईने में, ठीक है। अपने आईना में अपने आप को एक बार मर्द कहलाना है मेरे को, ठीक है, हाँ। So that's the reason you need the mirths of India. You need the mirths of India, not to give the बच्चा पैदा, ठीक है। बच्चे तो कुत्ते भी पैदा कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। इंसान बच्चा पैदा करेगा तो मर्द कहलाए, नहीं, ठीक है। कोई भी बॉडी बिल्ड कर सकता है, लेकिन जो गलत को गलत और सही को सही बोलने वाले लोग चाहिए हिंदुस्तान में, तभी ही देश आगे बढ़ेगा, नहीं तो नहीं बढ़ेगा। लेकिन घंटा भी नहीं पड़ेगा, पक्की। लेकिन इतना मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ठीक है। अगर तुम लोगों को यही दोनों गार्बेज चाहिए, दोनों के दोनों कीचड़ चाहिए, ये दोनों कीचड़ चाहिए, अगर ये दोनों कीचड़ ही चाहिए, ठीक है। बस इतना फ़र्क है कि कौन कम कीचड़ करेगा, कौन ज़्यादा कीचड़ करेगा, लेकिन कीचड़ करेगा सर। और जो कीचड़ है उसको साफ़ नहीं करेगा, इतना तो पक्का। और तुमको साफ़ करने के लिए एसिड चाहिए, और तुमको और तुमको इस देश के लिए जो गंदगी है ना, इसको साफ करने के लिए पर्यावरण का और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का, दोनों का साफ करके ठीक है, साफ करके, ठीक है, पर ठीक है, इस घर को, हिंदुस्तान का जो घर है नहीं, हिंदुस्तान का जो परिवार है नहीं, इसको साफ सुथरा रखने के लिए सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक डिक्टेटर की ज़रूरत है। कोई मोदी की ज़रूरत नहीं, कोई पीएम की ज़रूरत नहीं, कोई राहुल गांधी की ज़रूरत नहीं, कोई प्रियंका गांधी की ज़रूरत नहीं, कोई सोनिया गांधी की ज़रूरत नहीं, किसी की भी ज़रूरत नहीं हमको, किसी अमित शाह का ज़रूरत नहीं, किसी नड्डा का ज़रूरत नहीं, कोई भी ज़रूरत नहीं तुमको। ये सब के सब पार्टी है, ये सब के सब चोर है एक ना एक तरीके से, ठीक है। अगर इन्होंने चोरी नहीं किया, लेकिन अगर इन्होंने चोरी नहीं किया, कम से कम ये लोगों ने चोरी को, जो चोरी हो रहा है उसको बढ़ावा दिया, और ठीक है, जो चोरी को बढ़ावा दिया वो भी तो चोरी है, ठीक है। क्या है ना कि एग्ज़ाम, ठीक है, एग्ज़ाम में कॉपी करने वाला जो है नहीं, ठीक है, वो गुनहगार नहीं। एग्ज़ाम में जो कॉपी करने के लिए जो दिखाता है नहीं, वो भी गुनहगार है, ठीक है। हाँ, और ठीक है, और तुमको एक बंदा चाहिए जो सच्चा है और सच्चा है, अच्छा है, ठीक है, ठीक है, रोशनी, ज्योति, प्रगति, और ये एक तरफ से, और दूसरी तरफ से अंधकार, अंधकार, अविश्वास, और क्या बोलते हैं, झिझकपन, और उसके साथ साथ गंदगी समाज का और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का। गंदगी समाज का, लोगों के दिमाग में जो बैठा है उसको, और उसके साथ साथ ठीक है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में जो भी गंदगी बैठा है उसको ठीक तरीके से समझे, परखे, और हिंदुस्तान को आगे लेके जाए आने वाले 30-40 सालों में, जब मैं बूढ़ा बनने वाला, उसके बाद मैं अपने, ठीक है, अपने बच्चे को लेके आऊँगा। क्या होता, क्योंकि मेरा बच्चा ही, मेरा खून ही इस देश को सॉल्व कर सकता है। I used to think that my blood is waste. I think that thing was wrong. Okay, there is something magic inside my blood. There is something magic inside my veins. And that's the reason. You need that magic. You need that blood. You need that blood. You need that magic. And that magic is going to create a logic inside your brains that your country is going to be going in a right way, in the perfect way, having a right administration. That is what you need for the rest of your life. That's it. And with this, I completed. And you know what? Okay, with respect, okay, see everything. See their inefficiency, both of them. And this inefficiency has led us to a disaster, for first Indian Congress. Again, see it. Yeah.
The Indian National Congress, Inc., ruled India for approximately 50 to 60 years post-independence, a period that saw significant nation building but was also characterized by major inefficiencies, policy stagnation, and systemic failures. Critics often point to this period as creating a low-level equilibrium in economic growth, administrative inefficiency, and a reliance on patronage politics. Here is a breakdown of the inefficiencies and disadvantages associated with the INC rule. 1. Economic stagnation, license quota permit Raj. 1. Slow economic growth. For 4 decades, 1950 S1990, India experienced an average growth rate of around 3.5%, often derided as the Hindu rate of growth, which failed to significantly reduce poverty. 2. License Raj. Stringent government regulations required businesses to obtain licenses for production, expansion, and importing technology, which led to excessive bureaucratic delays, corruption, and a lack of competition. 3. Public sector inefficiency. The heavy focus on public sector undertakings, PSUs, resulted in many of them becoming loss-making entities due to lack of profit motives and poor management. And 4. Neglect of manufacturing. The restrictive policies stifled private entrepreneurship and the growth of a robust manufacturing sector. 2. Administrative and institutional weaknesses. 1. Corruption and scams. The system became known for high-profile scandals, including the Bofors scandal, 2G Spectrum scam, Colgate, and Commonwealth Games scam, suggesting deep-seated corruption. 2. Bureaucratic red tape. Outdated, inefficient laws and administrative bottlenecks hampered, rather than helped, economic development. And 3. Weak accountability. A lack of robust accountability mechanisms allowed for poor governance and the failure of public service delivery. 3. Political and governance failures. 1. Dynastic politics. The centralization of power around the Nehru-Gandhi family stifled internal democracy within the party and promoted sycophancy, weakening the party's grassroots structure over time. 2. Emergency, 1975 to 77. The imposition of the emergency by Indira Gandhi is seen as the darkest phase of Indian democracy, characterized by the suspension of fundamental rights, press censorship, and forced sterilizations. 3. Minority appeasement. Policies were often criticized as focusing on vote bank politics, such as the overturning of the Shah Bano verdict to appease conservative religious elements, rather than fostering genuine empowerment. And 4. Failure in conflict resolution. Long-standing issues, particularly in Kashmir, were mishandled, e.g., taking the issue to the UN, Article 317, leading to decades of instability and terrorism. 4. Social and developmental lags. 1. Slow human development. Despite long rule, a large percentage of the population continued to live in poverty for decades, with sluggish progress in literacy and basic healthcare compared to nations that started at a similar level. 2. Inequality. Worsening income inequality was noted, with the bottom 50% of the population seeing their share of national income decrease during certain periods, particularly during the UPA era. And 3. Neglect of primary education, health. The focus was often on tertiary education and high-end institutions, while primary education and basic rural healthcare remained neglected. 5. Foreign policy and national security. 1. 1962 war with China. The defeat in the 1962 war is considered a major failure of foreign policy and defense preparedness. 2. UN Security Council seat. Critics argue that opportunities to secure a permanent UN Security Council seat were ignored or missed. And 3. Terrorism. Inadequate action against cross-border terrorism, particularly during the 1980s and 90s, allowed the threat to grow in Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. While these points represent common criticisms and disadvantages, it is also noted that this era established foundational democratic institutions, a planned economy that built infrastructure, and a united, secular India, which, despite its flaws, survived turbulent times.
इंडियन
इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस कांग्रेस का है. बीजेपी का भी दिखाऊंगा, टेंशन मत लो. बीजेपी वालों को भी छोड़ूंगा नहीं, ठीक है, टेंशन मत लो.
Social commentators, the role of the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, and the influence of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, in India, particularly post-2014, has been associated with several alleged inefficiencies and disadvantages. Critiques often focus on economic management, the impact on democratic institutions, and social cohesion. 1. Economic inefficiency and policy failures. Critics argue that despite a strong parliamentary majority, the government has struggled with policy execution and economic management. 1. Botched policies. Demonetization, 2016, is frequently cited as a fiasco that severely impacted the informal sector, small businesses, and daily wage earners. Similarly, the GST implementation has been described as bungled and overly complex. 2. Jobless growth and unemployment. Despite electoral promises, unemployment has remained a major challenge, with critics pointing to high job loss during the lockdown and a decline in labor force participation. 3. Crony capitalism. Allegations of favoritism towards specific large corporate groups, such as Adani, have been raised, alongside accusations that the government favors high capital enterprises over MSMEs. And 4. Debt and inflation. Rising public debt and high inflation rates have been highlighted as evidence of economic mismanagement. 2. erosion of democratic institutions and accountability.
ये बीजेपी का है,
Concerns
ये
have
बीजेपी
been
का
raised
है,
regarding
बीजेपी
the
आरएसएस
weakening
रूल
of
का है, ये
institutional
बीजेपी है.
autonomy and a shift towards an authoritarian style of governance. 1. Suppression of dissent. Critics allege that questioning government policies can lead to harassment, surveillance, or being labeled anti-national. 2. Reduced transparency. The use of opaque funding mechanisms, such as the PM CARES Fund, and the weakening of the Right to Information (RTI) Act have been criticized. And 3. Weakening of check and balances. The autonomy of institutions like the Election Commission, the judiciary, and investigative agencies has been questioned. 3. Social cohesion and minorities. The ideological push for Hindutva is viewed by critics as detrimental to India's secular fabric. 1. Communal polarization. Critics argue that the BJP-RSS rule has increased religious intolerance, with a rise in hate speech and violence targeting minorities, particularly Muslims and Christians. 2. Marginalization. The focus on cultural homogeneity is seen as undermining the rights and security of minority communities. And 3. Protection of offenders. Accusations have been made regarding the protection or shielding of perpetrators of hate crimes and violence. 4. Administrative and operational inefficiencies. 1. Implementation gaps. While the government initiates various projects, e.g., smart cities, Namami Gange, critics argue that implementation is often poor, with projects remaining incomplete or underperforming. 2. Handling of crises. The handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically the second wave in the management of the lockdown, was heavily criticized. And 3. Centralization of power. Decisions are often seen as top-down, with limited consultation with stakeholders, opposition parties, or state governments. 5. Influence of the RSS on governance. The close relationship between the BJP and the RSS is often described as a double-edged sword that reduces the BJP's autonomy. 1. Undermining autonomy. The influence of a non-political, ideological organization, RSS, on government policy is seen as undermining the democratic accountability of the elected government. 2. Ideological imposition. Critics argue that the RSS focuses on a Hindu-centric view of India, which can lead to the neglect of diverse cultural and religious perspectives. And 3. Internal tensions. Occasional tensions arise when the RSS feels the BJP has become arrogant, sidelined its workers, or ignored traditional ideological goals for political pragmatism.
इसलिए इसलिए तुम लोगों को क्या दिया गया है? फंडामेंटल राइट्स. कौन सा? ये ठीक है. इक्वालिटी, फ्रीडम, एंटी एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, रिलीजन, कल्चर, एजुकेशन, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लिमिट्स. दिस थिंग्स ये पहले भी था. ठीक है. बिफोर ब्रिटिशर्स केम, दिस ऑल राइट्स, ओके, दिस इक्वालिटी, यूनियन, ओके, रिमेंबर दिस थिंग. Okay, they used to divide and rule. Okay, they used to divide and rule among the kings. They didn't use the divide and rule of the Britishers. They used to collect the high taxes from everyone. And you know what? They used to exploit every single one. Okay, equally. They used to exploit everyone. They used to loot everyone. Okay, and at the same point, freedom was there in order to walk, in order to talk. And then religion. And then, okay, religion. Okay, now you have a religion. You can practice any religion. But inside Britishers also you can practice any religion. Okay, culture, education, and that was, education was not there because, okay, this was the right because given after the independence.
Education means, okay, everyone, education for all inside the government. So earlier they used to be a very high rich people, they used to get the education, not the, yeah. So because of that, okay, then constitutional remedies. Because remember this thing, the most biggest loopholes of Congress government and the BJP government is the reservation systems. And then the reservation system is there. Why reservation system is there? Yes, the top 10% of the top 10% of the Brahmins, the top 10% of the rich people, they are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Shudras, and the Vaishyas, the Baniyas, which means they hold the major positions inside the Indian society setup, and that's the reason the reservation should be given to SC and STs, which have been completely exploited before independence and after independence. So that is good. But then what about those Brahmins, those Kshatriyas, those Shudras, and those Vaishyas? Okay, the Baniyas, the merchants, and all. Okay, who are born in poor people? Yeah, who are born in middle class. For them, what? So that's the reason, because of the communal vote banks, because of all these agendas, so they are going to have these things. So that's the reason, again, I'm fed up of all these things. And I don't want to give the birth to my child here, giving the Indian citizenship here, so that it is going to give, if I cannot change the India, if I cannot change India single-handedly, because you need one person to change everything. You just need to give one power, one supreme total authority and power, destroying the state governments, destroying the things. You know what? There will be my appointed officers. There will be an election. We will be having an election, and that's the reason. There will be my pattern of examinations. रिटर्न एग्जामिनेशन, कितने पढ़े लिखे, अच्छी तरीके से भाषा बोल सकते, उसके साथ साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की भाषा, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टेस्ट मीन्स व्हाट आर द गाइडलाइंस, व्हाट आर द prospectus which he is having in his mind in order to develop that sector by his own method. Okay, that is what we are going to see. And the fourth one is the command. How he is going to have a command test. This all four commands are required. This all four tests are required in order to get one particular sector ministership. That is what I am going to implement. And elections will be there for these ministers, but elections will not be there for my. And that's the reason the dictatorship will be there. That's the reason. That is what we call it as a dictatorship. But the ministers will be elected. But the ministers will be having an election term of, yes, exactly. 2.5 years. 2.5 years, not 3 years. Not 5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years or 3 years maximum. Within 3 years, they are going to get changed if they are not going to do their work properly. That's the reason they need to have their, and nobody will do the corruption under me. So, and at the same point of time, the transparency and accountability will be given to, where you can see every single progress, okay, everything. So whatever is there, okay, I'm going to tell it in the next video. And that's the reason you need to go for dictatorship. And these things are not easy. Population, and both of the governments, they have exploited India through the population explosion and the population density by promoting the vulgar culture, nudity, vulgar culture, semi-nudity, vulgar culture through Bollywood and other film industries, and at the same point of time, semi-nudity, semi-nudity, and you know what, all this thing, the exposure culture, and they have allowed it, and they are just glorifying it, and they're just glorifying it every single day and every single point of time. And they have allowed betting, Dream 11, yes, exactly. So that thing is not required. As an administrator, I cannot allow all these things. And that's the reason. And you know what? Heavy taxes on tobacco, and at the same point of time, heavy taxes on the cigarettes has to be imposed. Okay, not just 72 rupees one packet. Okay, you need to have 250 rupees, 300 rupees, 400 rupees for one packet of cigarettes. So that, okay, you can spend that much. Yeah, okay, you can. Yes, exactly, do that. But in order to protect the health of Indians, that's it. Don't consume the wrong things. So all these things will be done. When I come to power. Yeah. not okay. Moral administration, financial administration, financial administration. At the same point of time, mm, you know what? Moral administration, financial administration, ethical administration, and at the same point of time, you know what? The thriving, prospering, and flourishing administration for the Indian people to thrive, prosper, and flourish rather than just survive like an animal. You are not animal. There is no difference. There is no difference between Indian and a dog right now, because dogs can move freely inside India, but Indians can also move freely inside. But dogs can bark, but Indians cannot talk against their own government. So that is, and dogs are becoming superior than Indians right now, and that's we cannot tolerate, and that's the reason we have to go for dictatorship. Yes, and it is what it is. It is what it is. You can laugh, you can laugh, you can laugh, and you can say, yes, this man is useless. Okay, this man is telling something here, and if you like this, and if you like this corruption, if you like this inefficiency, and if you don't like any transparency, and if you don't like this, and if you don't like my speech, and if you like this garbage only, yes, you can go it. But I cannot tolerate this garbage. I cannot tolerate this garbage, and I'm going to cancel my Indian citizenship forever. I'm born here on 15th August 1990, 15th September 1998. Okay, just a mistake of some 48 years which I'm born, which I should not have been born here. I should have been born in some Western civilization. But still, okay, I've been born in Indian civilization. Okay, so let's say, okay, let's let it. So, but that's the reason you have to change. What you don't like, you have to change. That's the reason. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this governments. Two of the governments. Two of the useless governments which we have seen from the past 75 years. 15 times we have given opportunity. 15 times. 4 opportunities we have given to BJP and 11 opportunities we have given to Congress. And both of them they have given what? Population explosion, wastage of resources, okay, environmental pollution, air, water, natural resources, okay, devaluation of currencies, no transparency, no accountability, corruption, arrogancy of these people, and you know what? Time wasting on rallies, parliaments, rather than solving the questions by answering the problems. No, nothing. And just provided some basic foundational network, okay, and that anyone can do. And you know what? You need to build the pillars. You need to build the inner renovation. You need to renovate India. You need to build the India, and you need to have a crown jewel. You need to build a dome of India, and you need to build a palace of India, and you need to have garden. You need to have flowers, and you need to have a beautiful butterflies, and that is what you need to have. But you are not going to have it. Where other countries are moving forward, you are getting backward, each and every single day and each and every single point of time. So that's the reason. Okay, that's the reason this thing is waste. And that's the reason dictatorship has to be given, implemented, perfected every single day and every single point of time. So with this, I conclude of part 1. Maybe there will be part 2, or else this will be the main part.